All right, welcome back to the stream. Got a lot to talk about today. So today I do have an announcement for in relation to bricks and minifigs. Then we will be talking about later on. We're gonna continue just information, things I want to clear up on bricks and minifigs. Just personally. As you can see, I read a lot of comments. I like to answer. It's fun for me. I'm not always gonna do that, but I find it interesting what people have to say. And also, we will be talking about DC. We'll be talking about Marvel. Talking about a lot of things. Okay, but the bricks and minifig situation. So first, we'll start off with the announcement. Actually, well, I'll get why. So there was a few people that commented on other videos. I even got a few DMs that was saying like, hey, I want to believe your story, but like you're just telling the story, there's no evidence. And then some people criticizing me like, how can you guys all blindly believe it? And that's completely fair criticism. You know, I think it's a healthy thing to want to know if the story is true and all that. There are things I provided to like story-wise to Reckless Ben. There are things that corporate has that I don't have anymore. Like a lot of the stuff was on my business email that they took over when they took over the location. And some of the other evidence that I do have is also in relation to customers. So before I've reached out to a few customers, and so before I can actually release anything, I want to know if it's okay because their name is on it, and I don't want to involve people that don't want to be involved. I don't want people harassed that don't want to be harassed, or people be annoyed when it has nothing to do with them, you know. But and hey man, zombie box reviews. Hey, I actually I've seen it before, but like I've actually seen your channel. Thank you. Yeah, I'm very excited about the channel. But anyways, and thanks everybody for your support. And so my big announcement is tomorrow I'm bringing on a special guest, and this person has been an employee of Bricks and Minifigs for 7 years. Is no longer involved in Bricks and Minifigs. He will be on tomorrow around 6:30, 7 o'clock Eastern time. He worked for a really bad owner. Then he worked for corporate. And then he worked for me. And like he was very skeptical on going on. I'm like, hey man, I want you on, and I'm like, I'm not gonna tell you the questions. I'm not going to like try to, you know, do anything nefarious because we're friends. But like he's very skeptical about the internet. But he's a very honest guy. And so he's going to come on and for a few hours. And actually, I'll put up a post. I'll put up a post right now. And anybody, you guys can put, what's it called? Your own questions that you can ask a previous employee of Bricks and Minifigs. So let me put this post up. Ask your questions for the special guest tomorrow. Guess tomorrow here. And then I'm gonna put bam employee. So go ahead and check out the post. Maybe I'll edit it later, but he's gonna be on and he's gonna tell you his experience. He was, like I said, 7 years an employee. He came on when he was just a teenager, 16, 17, and left at the age of 24 when I came on, right? Or after the whole debacle. But he will be like, I guess, a witness to my story. Does that make sense? And then again, I can't appease everybody. There's going to be people that are like, oh yeah, but he's on your side, so it's very biased and all that stuff. Maybe, but to me, he's a very honest guy. He's called me out before when he thought I wasn't, when I was too angry about something or whatever. Like he's somebody I could trust. And this guy I could definitely trust. But yeah, he'll be the special guest tomorrow here at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So that's the big announcement. And again, go to the post and ask your questions, and then I'll read it to him and I'll ask my own questions. And it'll probably be an interview of a few hours. And we'll probably also talk about comics and stuff just so we could chill like we're going to do here. All right. And welcome in Bilm K3S4U. Hey, the last relic. Binge channel. I'm famous now. I need to get back to making content. Do karma's on your side? I hope so. Anyone see Skybrow new song? I have not. Alfred is right. Karma's on your side. Salt in Exile. What's up? All right. So first thing is first. Again, you don't have to believe the story. Anybody, I'm gonna tell it, and it's the truth. I don't know how much more I can put it out there, but you don't have to believe it because I'm not providing like a ton of evidence. All I can do is try to get people who are part of it. You get also. There's been a few customers that's been in the chat, that's been in the comments. If they're willing to answer your questions, feel free. If you go to Instagram and look at I'm pretty sure it's still up, our old, very old Bricks and Minifigs Instagram that we handled, that they actually stopped utilizing. I believe it's still up. Have no idea why. And like, don't harass like the followers. I'm pretty sure most of them don't know about the situation. Like, because then again, like when they shut it down, they didn't tell the community. They didn't announce it to anybody. They did not. They did not go ahead and actually let the community know or let the customers know, because also they probably would have had to pay for their store credit that was on the system, and they didn't. But the first thing, a lot of people been saying that I think the one that was most common, like, I don't believe that this shrewd businessman or this hardcore business guy would just forgive a $500,000 debt. Well, I didn't put in all the details, but that was the consensus. So it went like this. It was various phone calls. The first phone call was, it was like, hey, you missed paying rent. I explained to them the situation, and then the property manager's like, that, okay, like, what's going on? I have no idea that that's happening, but your name is on the lease. And so, okay, let me see what I can do, because I don't have any money. And he's like, if it truly did close down and all that, then you owe us this much money, because that's defaulting. You're going against the contract that you signed. All right, cool. So he sent somebody out there to verify that the store is closed, that it's empty, or that it's demolished, completely destroyed. And they took pictures and they sent it off to the owner. And in the meantime, I'm trying to contact people who know a lawyer that could look over the lease agreement and personal guarantor stuff, because I didn't know that they did that. They waited till they were off the lease until this phone call, right? And then my name was stuck on there when I begged them multiple times to take me off the lease. I told Ammon and Matt to take me off the lease. I told mainly Ammon, and I told Josh and Brandon, take me off the lease. I no longer own this place. Then I called, one person I did call was Carl, who was the manager, and we're good friends. And remember, he met Josh and Brandon before I did. Or no, he met Josh and Brandon before he met me. Okay? They hired him. They flew him out to meet their family and have dinner with them, and then hired him as the manager, and then he came to the store and became the manager. Super nice guy, super great guy. And I called him, and he knows people. He's 72 years old. He worked for a big newspaper company. He knows the people. And he was I was seeing if he could help me out, like, do you know any lawyers I could talk to, or anybody, like, and he said he was going to take a look, and he did, and couldn't get anybody, I guess, in a timely manner at that point. Most of the people that he knew are either retired or like doing their own thing, and they're really busy. But like just talking to him, it helped me out. So then I called the property manager, and I'm like, hey man, I can't come up with 500 grand. I can't even pay the rent for the next few months. I can't do it. Like, is there some deal we can work out? Because I wasn't expecting this landlord to do anything but go after the money. You know, I wasn't expecting to give me a handout. I wasn't expecting him to be nice. I was like, all right, well, the only thing I could do right now is use my skills in negotiation, see what we can do. And so I was like, okay, my goal is just to reduce paying that much, paying 500 grand. So then I talked to the property manager, and then he's like, all right, well, if you like, how much money you got right now? I'm like, dude, I'm dead broke or whatever. It's like, well, in 6 months, how much money do you think realistically can obtain? And then that could be the first down payment, and then every whatever. Like we were talking, we were negotiating, seeing what we can do. And I was like, look, I like that day I started applying to so many more jobs. I was working around I was averaging 72 to 80 hours a week at the restaurant job I had, but I was like, maybe I could get a job at night and then only sleep a few hours a day. Like my father, when we first came to the US, dude, he was a workhorse. He had so many jobs at once, and all of them he tried to get full-time, was a full-time student. And I didn't know this because I was a kid at the time, but my mom and my dad told me like, oh yeah, like your dad for around 2 years only slept like 3 hours a day. Because I remember on Sundays he had the day off, but he would sleep all day. But yeah, he was like sleeping 2 to 3 hours. He had a paper route, worked at a restaurant, delivered pizza, and then worked for the warehouse at UPS. And then also went to school and to get his MBA and all this stuff, right? So like I was like, all right, I'm working 80 hours. I think I can survive working this many hours. My mother-in-law is coming in from Korea to help out with the baby. So I was like, okay, like I think at least for sure for a month I could really, really grind and like just not see my kids, my family, nothing. Like, so like I started calling people who had like construction jobs and some landscaping jobs and even out of state. Because I'm like, hey, and I was trying to come up with numbers to be like, realistically, this is what I can pay. And so then I called up the property manager. I'm like, look, I think I could come up with something. I could maybe get you guys a few thousand a month, but realistically, when I calculated everything, like I'm gonna have to file bankruptcy at some point, and then I can't do anything. Like, and if I file bankruptcy, that's kind of it for me for business for a long time, unless I could come up with some great idea that I don't have today. And then he's like, all right, well, let me talk to the landlord. Let me see what we can do. And, you know, this was like a week of phone calls, all right, between me and the landlord and the property manager back and forth, right? And he's like, well, and he said everything I told you, like, I can't take their side or yours because I'm not in the situation and I don't want to be. But the only people that have been giving me headaches were those people, were Josh, Brandon, and corporate, and they've been super difficult to work with. When you were there, everything was great. You always paid on time. You always were honest with me about if there was, you know, weird stuff happening in the plaza. You were the first one to call. You would let me know about the lights, the whatever, you know. And he was like, do this. I can always find a tenant. I'm not looking to ruin anybody's life. I'm not looking, like, there's no benefit for you filing bankruptcy. So do this. The store is very, very messy, very dirty. If you can go and clean it up, and we'll pick a day, and then consider us even, because I could find another tenant. And dude, like, the shock that I had was, I can't explain it to you guys. Like, I'm telling you, like, tears streaming down my face. Like I prayed. I was like, this is unheard of. It was truly a miracle. Okay, whatever you want to believe, for me, it was a miracle. And that guy, like, he could have gone after me. He could have done anything he wanted to do. Okay, like, again, like, I don't know how to explain that. Sometimes, like, I had no hope. All right, and he was the first guy to give me hope. Like, I don't know how to frame it better. Like, I don't know what went through his head. I don't know why he made that decision, but I'm grateful he did, because I got to start at zero instead of negative 500,000, instead of having bankruptcy to my name. Like, you know, it was awesome. Like, it was provided me with, like, fresh air. Like, I don't know, anybody that does jiu-jitsu, you know, if when you go and fight a bigger guy that, like, outweighs you by 40 pounds, and he just, like, puts his knee on your neck and crushes it, and then he just puts his chest and tries to suffocate you, and you have to find a way to breathe. You just have to put your head to the side and try to calm down and just catch a breath before you can make a move, before you can be able to think and make an opening. It's like that, but that lasted for like a whole freaking week. Imagine having that for a whole week. I couldn't sleep. Like I'm telling you, like, I lost weight, man. I was, throughout the whole time, and even in that week, I was turning into a freaking anorexic, dude. I was dying, and I was working 80 hours a week, and I was like, this money isn't even, like, won't even put a scratch into it. But yeah, I was looking out for you. Thank you. He still is. I think this was a big learning point for me to it wasn't God showing me that I shouldn't be in business. I think it was God showing me that I needed to learn this lesson so that it won't happen again, and that hopefully I can make sure it doesn't happen to others. Yeah, real stress. With your knowledge of the industry, have you thought about opening your own independent store? Do you think your current franchise owners are looking for ways to get out of their agreement? So that actually was another question that I got a lot. So even with my knowledge, first you sign an NCA. So all those guys that are currently having a store and having problems, they're not going to be able to just shut it down. Like, and maybe because of the PR, maybe because of all this stuff that's going on, there might be something in the contract, maybe an addendum where it's like the NCA will be void and they could terminate their own franchise agreement. But then again, you have to be wary of these guys. They're going to throw fines at them, and they're going to try to ruin every single owner that tries to back out, right? But there might be something. I don't doubt that some have already contacted lawyers and see if they could get out, because they also might be not believing Amin and Matt, but at the same time, like, they're still business owners, so they don't have the time to follow the story 100%. Now, if it affects your business, you should find a way to follow this story, to be informed, and check out YouTube, check out other forums, check out other platforms that people are talking about this, and see what's really going on, so that you don't keep going with your business and then realize that you're in a sinking ship, right? So I don't doubt that there's some people trying to figure out a way to get out of it, but I don't know anybody that's actively doing that. I reached out to some, but it looks like Bricks and Minifigs owners, they're under an order from corporate to not talk at all to anybody about the situation, like not even their own friends, nobody. So, and I don't even know if they can even talk about it amongst themselves. Okay, so yeah, like, they're not gonna, I don't think they're gonna talk to me about their situation or what their thoughts are and stuff until this all ends. Yeah. Texas and the Ammon side is saying that they don't take consignments. Like, okay, he maybe take consignments now. And I remember my training. They said that the one thing I think I remember was like, we want the product to move. We don't want it sitting there. Bricks and Minifigs is not a museum. When I went in for training, they would state that quite a bit. I don't know what the deal of consignment is. Again, I pointed out like the POS system doesn't have a consignment area from what I know. It doesn't have a layaway area from what I know. I never did layaway. I never did consignments. But if you're able to do a consignment, that means that Bricks and Minifigs would have their own contract layout. Because again, when you buy a franchise, they have a bunch of stuff for you. They have everything laid out for you to be able to have success, right? And so it should be somewhere in the system what a consignment contract from Bricks and Minifigs looks like. So I would say they would have to go look at their POS system and see if it's changed or when it changed or if it ever had a consignment area. But I can't say it did or didn't. Can't super chat. Oh yeah. Here you can, if you want to, on the Streamlabs side, I have Streamlabs, so you can do it on there. I'm not actually monetized yet. The hello from Texas. Thank you. Y'all go get Relic some watch hours. Yeah, I can. I have watch hours. But yeah, so again, I think what would be very beneficial for Ben's case is for them to take a look at the POS system that they've had for the last 5 years. Last 5 years, see what has changed, see what kind of updates they've had, how much Bricks and Minifigs was involved, and see if there was some sort of labeling of consignment and how the contracts work with consignment. And then you got to look at Crystal. If she created her own consignment agreement, like that, I think I would be very interested in the language. Because obviously Bricks and Minifigs understood consignment because they said that's a business thing. The Kyle, whatever his name is, said on the phone, like that's a business thing, and they're taking over the store, so anything attached to it, that would be theirs. They would take care of it. They would handle it. And I think that's the biggest like piece of video evidence that they have to show that this thing was real, to show that, you know, these Legos do exist and this was a real contract, a real deal, right? Let me look at what other questions people had. Like I said, don't have to believe my story. I get it. But hopefully tomorrow's interview with my special guest that's coming in, who was with Bricks and Minifigs for 7 years, worked with a good/bad owner, and he'll explain that. Worked for corporate and then also worked for me. Solid guy, and he'll be on at 7 p.m. Tomorrow Eastern time. But yeah, and so I was looking up questions. I was looking up comments that people had, because people were not happy with me for some damn reason. Some weren't. Like me and Echo Base talked about it. Like I could make content off some of the emails I got, but I don't want to give anybody a voice that's just won't listen to reason or just want negativity. Like I've received just a few death threats, like that they're gonna find me and do things to me that because like I'm disloyal or something like that. I'm like, dude, that's insane. I didn't respond, but it was insane. You send me a little something. As long as it's not a nude, I'll accept it. Let me see. But yeah, and like I've said before, I think so here's something with the accountants. Here's something that happened to me a few times that got me really pissed. So me and corporate, Matt and Ammon, we shared some of the same accountants. The company's called The Accounting Guys. They suck. They're terrible. A few times I've had to call corporate to get it resolved because they would take money out of my account and accidentally put it in corporate's account. and I would call. They would fix the situation. But I'm like, how do you confuse my LLC with corporates? And like, I was so busy trying to figure out some things that I wasn't able to always move the get a new accountant or whatever, because at that time we were moving to a separate location, and it just like slipped my mind. But yeah, they really suck. And here's what you got to understand: if you don't have like really good bookkeepers, that's why so many people in business, they hire multiple bookkeepers. Like, they'll fire one and hire another one, because they're not, bookkeepers are supposed to ask you questions, and they're supposed to help with the P&L statements, with how the accountants put everything, because accountants just see numbers and they'll put it together. Okay, like, oh, this sounds like this, but there's details in there where you're like, oh, actually this isn't a loss, this was a sale, and you put it in this category, but it actually goes on this category. So like, it's not like you just hire accountants and they just handle everything. You actually got to call them out every now and then if they're not doing the proper job. Like, and you have to be able to read those numbers. Like, you should educate yourself on how to read it. You don't have to be an accountant, but if you can read numbers, usually you could do very well in business if you understand. If you understand what the freak of profit is. I have to log into Tip. Let me make an account. Oh, thanks, man. Oh, Cody. Yeah, dude, let me know. Do you have any jobs that like I could do 4 days out of the week in, what was it, Georgia or Alabama? Construction jobs. I'm totally down to do it. My wife says, like, if you need to go do it, but selling the house isn't completely an option right now. But yeah, no, dude, hey, from Zombie Box Reviews, I wish I could give you more, but here's a little something to help support your channel. $15, dude, that's $15 more that I did not have. Trust me. Today I was trying to figure out how to pay some bills and call a bunch of friends of mine, and funny enough, friends that like collecting Lego, because I still have a decent collection that I just don't have any space for. Like, I'm looking right here in my garage, dude, I have so many Lego. That's why I wanted to try to get my other Lego channel back from Bricks and Minifigs, because I do want to make some Lego content. But I think I'll just do it here eventually when I'm out of the garage, because I'm melting here. But $15, hell yeah, man. Thank you so much, Zombie Box Reviews. You're awesome. Dude, like, I'm appreciative of just you guys even being here. So $15, that's 15, 10, 5, a cent is amazing. So I thank you. I'm happy that I can provide some content good enough that you guys feel like you can it's worth tipping or donating. I appreciate that, and I hope I could keep making good content for you guys. But yeah, how could we not believe you? I saw you on EBN. I've watched you since. Your story has not changed once. Yeah, like, that's a good indicator of the truth, but I totally understand when somebody is skeptical because they just heard a story. You know, again, my story is not, it's not under, I'm not under a case. I haven't been sued as of yet. I haven't sued anybody right now. So it's not, I don't think it's a story that will I think it will relieve people if they like went and dug it and found out it was the truth, every single detail. Here's all the proof, all that. It will provide comfort for people who are skeptical, but other than that, I don't think it would actually provide too much of a benefit towards anything, unless I decided to sue and I was able to collect the money and do that. But yeah, like, it. Other than that, like I'm going to bring people on that can give their own take and their own experiences that have been involved with Josh and Brandon, but I can't force anybody, and I'm not going to try to create lies. Like, I try to be an honest person, and all I got right now is my word, and that's all I've ever really had. Okay, like, I'll tell you an experience. When I was selling cars, I worked in multiple dealerships. My favorite one was selling sports cars for a living. You know, Ferraris, Lamborghinis. It was awesome. You know, it helped that I spoke At the time, my Mandarin was much better, but I used to speak 5 languages. My Mandarin sucks now. I really got to focus on Korean, but I've been lazy. But yeah, so I in one of the dealerships I worked at, I was like the newest guy. I was there for around, I think at the time it was 6 months, and it was a really nice job. Maybe I was there longer, but I was still the new guy. They didn't hire too much at this dealership, and somebody screwed up with something. Somebody asked me to handle it, and I went and handled it. But then apparently I wasn't. They didn't want certain things because the owner or the manager didn't want to pay a certain thing. Okay. And then they're like, all right, well, like this is going to screw over this, but I'm not paying that. This is coming out of your paycheck, or you're going to have to do something. And I'm like, well, this sounds like really dishonest. I didn't do anything dishonest. You told me to handle this and I handled it, and I'm not selling my name for nobody. And he said, well, you could take your name and get out. I was like, damn. And that's when that day I got a job for Lyft. I got a job at the gym that was close to my apartment at like 4 a.m. And I got a job at my uncle's restaurant that paid like $7.50 an hour. But it was a good job. Like it was money. It was honest work. So, and then later I got a 4th job at Texas de Brazil for a little bit. Also, Texas de Brazil, not an honest company. And that will be a story for another day. But yeah, like there's something, I've never compromised my word. I've never, actually I do have a funny response. Somebody said that, this guy brainwashed a Korean woman to marry him. Like she needs to wake up and get away from him, know that he's a scumbag, because apparently using certain words hurts people's feelings. And they called me a bigot and whatnot. I'm like, I think you might be the misogynist, man, because my wife, like it's crazy that you think that I can brainwash women. My wife, she's got a master's degree. She's much smarter than me. I didn't even go to college. So you should probably give women a little bit more credit, because if you're calling me a scumbag and an idiot and you're saying I could brainwash a Korean woman with a master's degree, maybe you don't think so highly of women. So yeah, I had a little bit of fun there. But yeah, again, thank you, Zombie Box Reviews. It was awesome. Unlike Bam, who store changes every time, open their mouths. Yeah. And all I could do is be honest. That's all I could freaking do. But tomorrow you guys will get a little bit more entertainment, a little bit more fun with this guy that I'm bringing on. He's a solid guy. He stays out of social media. He's not. He was actually like when I first talked to him about it, I'm like, "You think I can ever interview you?" He's like, "Man, I don't really want to get involved because, it's not really my fight. I was just an employee." And then I contacted him today, and I'm like, "Hey, man, I think you would help out. I think, it'll provide like some sort of comfort to a lot of people who may be skeptical of my story." And he's like, "All right, man, hell yeah, like let's do it." And I'm like, "Do you want me to send you the question beforehand so you're not like blindsided?" He's like, "Nah, don't even send me the question beforehand. Like let's keep it 100% authentic." And that's the kind of guy he is. He's an authentic dude. And like I said, I put up the post. You guys go and put in your questions. And from there, I will also ask them the questions that you guys want to know about. The things you guys want to know, I will ask them. Yo! Cody, my man, coming in hot with 100. Keep going, bro. Keep talking about these topics you're well versed on, and you'll blow up. I'd be happy to be a guest if you need someone to talk with. Heck yeah, man. Do you have a YouTube channel? Or do you just want to come on and then we just like hang out? Because I'm cool with that too. Like, I'm open to have anybody on my channel and being on anybody's channel as long as I personally can feel that people are honest. I've had like people reach out to me that like they saw the video and they like, "Hey man, I have a crazy story too. You should invite me on your channel." I'm like, brother, like I haven't talked to you for 10 years. Like, I think the last time I saw you was like graduating high school. Like, what is this? Yeah, Cody, the man. Thank you. It was awesome. Bill K3S4U, Mono claim is a type of civil lawsuit in the U.S. that allows individuals to hold local government entities like cities, counties, and police departments liable for constitutional violations. One thing, I don't have much to go on, but one thing I do think is like everybody kind of needs to keep a little bit more closer eye on the American Fork Police Department, because they're a big thing with this. All right, dude, make one. We'll talk about nerd stuff. We're gonna talk about nerd stuff today. We're gonna talk about how there's no hype for the lanterns, how Supergirl's probably gonna be poopy, and it's a missed opportunity and their potential, and how Marvel it's just dead, no interest. And we'll talk a little bit about Star Wars if I'm feeling it, you know. Honestly, like one of my favorite YouTubers is Quarterback Garrett, and he's streaming right now a video game, and I was like, man, maybe I won't make the stream tonight because I want to go watch his stream. But he's playing video games, so it's probably gonna go on forever. Shout out to Quarterback Garrett, he's amazing. I don't think he remembers when I first met him. I actually told him a little bit about how I got screwed out of I went to a Geeks and Gamers meetup, and he was there. Critical Drinker, Nerdrado was there, and I got to talk to Quarterback Garrett. He was actually practically the only person I really wanted to talk to. I also got to meet my nerdy home. She's a sweet person as well. And I talked to Quarterback, and I told him like very little bit about the situation, and I just asked him kind of like, where can I like start? Where can I start how to learn to edit? And usually everybody's go-to is kind of like, you gotta first get like a nice computer. I'm like, I got 8 gigs and it's a laptop and it's a MacBook, so let's start with that. Give me a few tips. You just pretty much said get into it and you'll figure it out, and like you just gotta trial and error, man. I'm like, okay, cool, because I literally just use YouTube Studio to like cut the dead air. But yeah, yes, start a channel, dude. Yes, American Fork is the worst part of the whole thing. The tyranny enrages me. Cody BN Network should wrench you on all the channels. Wrench? Dude, if you start a channel and like contact me, and I will love to just talk with you and like we'll hang out. But even if you're not, like, let me know if you want to be on, and we'll just shoot the crap, But yeah, other questions that people had about the bricks and minifigs situation was, what was it like during the time Brandon and Josh took over and I was still there as an employee. While I was still there, none of their business practices were like, it seemed really stupid. Even me and Carl would talk about it. Me and the other employees that actually understood a little bit about business, like we would all be like, this just doesn't seem like, this doesn't have common sense. Like, I've never seen, and it might have been because of the reckless spend situation, because I think when they took over my store, it happened a few months after they took over Crystal's store. I think that's the timeline. And he was having meetings like every freaking minute. And I don't know what that was about. But like every second. Sometimes he would take phone calls in the middle of the store with us and just have a meeting and be chilling while like other employees, like he would move sets, put up a computer on the shelf so he could stand up, and then have Zoom calls, and there would just be me and other people walking in the background. I'm like, what the freak that's freaking weird. But anyways, so Brandon would fly out the most, come and check up on the store. There was one time he actually just flew out because he had family in Florida and they were on vacation for Christmas or something, and they came by the store. But again, like while they were there, Brandon always seemed like the clear-headed dude, like the one that we could actually ask questions and talk to. But they would never give Carl a budget to do marketing, to do advertising. They would move the store around like crazy. I had to design we had to shut down the Star Wars entry Like if you guys seen one of my streams, that you could kind of see the video. And then those other 2 doors, we had to move the register all the way over there, create this party room and the second entrance. And the first thing they wanted to do was cut the square footage in half. We had 3,600 square feet, I believe, of a store, and they wanted to cut it in half for a party room. So like, and remember, except for like a small spot, the entire store was filled with product, and we had back stock in the back that was also full. Like the back room was full of sets that were already clean, that like bulk that was mainly almost all sorted and washed. And they wanted to do that. And then as soon as we got the party room going, they said like, this is what's going to make you $1 million store. This is what's going to make it blow up, which is insane, because I've seen the numbers. You don't make a profit hosting a party. You actually have, there's like a lot of cleanup. Sometimes you have to get certain types of insurance, because if you're the one that providing the drinks or the food, there's a lot of things that could go into it hosting a party, right? And then again, if it's not a closed space, when it's really loud and there's regular customers coming in there, they don't like to hear the loud noise. If there's a party going on with just kids yelling and whatnot, they're gonna leave. And that's what happened multiple times before I was an owner at the old locations in the mall and multiple different malls that they were part of. So I already knew that like the party system would be really good for many stores, but for our location, it was a terrible idea. And I would give them all the analytics. I would show them like the type of customers we attract. We're not having I think we had the highest average ticket of anybody in at least at the time, anybody in the franchise, because we knew sales. We knew how to be like, oh, you bought a stormtrooper, and then the upsell was like, do you want like this gun for 75 cents? Do you like are you building an army? Would you like a battle droid to go along with it? You know, and then be like, oh yeah, like go ahead and get a battle droid as well, like for like $3 to $6 or whatever, depending on the type of battle droid. And then they would just get their battle droid, you know, and then now they have an enemy, you know. But I'm like, you can't have somebody buying a Star Wars minifigure and then try to force them to buy like the Fortnite set. Like that's crazy. Like if they bring you something Star Wars, see if you can provide them with more Star Wars. If they bring Marvel, see if you could provide something with a little bit more Marvel. Like maybe they missed something. Maybe we can give them a better experience, but also help with our sales. You know, that's a lot of people don't think upselling is a good business practice, but it's just part of business, man. And you can't force anybody to buy. But yeah, since you showed your pics of when you did bodybuilding, are you thinking of getting back into that kind of shape again? Oh yeah, 100%. The thing is, like, eating that much food, like I'm eating rice, steak, avocado, asparagus, raw sweet potato, you know, and then you're taking in over 1.5 gallons of water, and you got to make sure you at least sleep 6 hours to around 7 hours and 30 minutes. The sweet spot is 7 hours, but that's also hard to do with 3 kids. You know, there's a lot that I have to really lock in to do. Like I'm working out again. I'm doing jujitsu, and with doing jujitsu, you have to up the calories at least by 1,000, because you're burning a lot of calories. Like you'll thin out. If you ever want to get in tip-top shape, go do jujitsu and go for at least 30-minute runs. You know, every day, and trust me, you'll shred fat like that. But yeah, I do plan to get back into shape, that kind of shape. Like I'm not past the age where like your muscle maturity on your legs won't grow. It's just I'm getting close to the age where your body isn't producing as much testosterone, and there is some fatigue on your legs, and so your legs are the hardest to grow. So at this point, I do have to focus growth on legs more than anything, and then I can and then when I can solidify like that muscle maturity and making sure I can maintain that size, then I can really actually push everything else much more than my legs. So like, and what I mean that I'm not saying like only my legs are gonna grow and the rest of my body isn't. It's just like sometimes you have to focus on a certain muscle group that you are worried about, or a muscle group that is actually really bad genetically for you. My legs are pretty good though. I've never had chicken legs. But yeah, send me another tip. Zombie Box Reviews, my man. I'm gonna be able to pay my water bill today. Heck yeah. I need to find, holy freaking A, dude. Zombie Box Review coming in with 100. All I can offer this month is I have too many bills to pay. LOL. When I start streaming again, you're more than welcome to come on my channel, dude. Dude, thank you. You did not have to do that, just like Cody did not have to do. None of you guys feel obligated to that. Thank you so much. I am very grateful. My wife might get lucky tonight, but when I tell her about what's going on, because she was like, hey, do you think you could come up with $300 today? I'm like, oh, I think I could sell my Rivendell set. You know, I call a buddy of mine and I'm like, hey, I have Lord of the Rings Rivendell new in box. I haven't opened it yet, so you know, let me know. And MLS Making Law Simple, guys, hit me up. You guys DM me, then I DM'd you back. I know I don't know how many of you are involved, but I did see that one of you guys are traveling. But I'm willing to go on your channel anytime. I'm usually busy. Thursday night, luckily last Thursday when I went on EchoBits Network, I was actually kind of sick and I took like 4 Dayquils so I could do the stream because they cut me early at the restaurant. But I'm usually really busy Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. And sometimes I could do morning streams, but those are the nights that I'm like trying to figure out if I can do something. And then yeah, and I'm still looking for jobs that I can be busy at like 4 in the morning from all the way till nighttime during the week. But yeah, nice husband joke. How's the Florida weather? Dude, I'm sweating. I don't know if you could tell. I'm sweating. But I got my little fan right here blowing on my face. And it keeps me alive. And I got mango juice. It's hotter than Satan's ballsack out here. Oh, I'm going to give you guys a story. Let me see. I think if you look up my... I'm going to give you a story about bricks and minifigs. And sometimes, like I said, sometimes you get freaks. You get absolute animals coming to your store. Okay? That's just... Lego just attracts everybody. It's kind of like the Harry Potter fandom. You know, you're going to get your base people, and then you're going to get people that believe they're a wizard and a dog, and they're going to be laying down pipe on the concrete. Like, you know what I mean? There's some nutty people out there, but just like every fandom, just like every religion, just like every creed, community, there's going to be freaks, there's going to be weirdos, there's going to be idiots, there's going to be also awesome, great, phenomenal, beautiful people. But let me see, if I type in bricks and minifigs, Wesley Chapel. Dun, 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 dun. Shoot, let me see. Okay, let me look at the reviews. Yeah, the reviews are still up. Let me try to find the most negative reviews. Oh, somebody put a 1-star. Was great while I was there. Maybe 11:30 a.m. Looks closed, doors locked. Looked pretty empty inside. These are just like new ones. That was like a year ago. It's like, yeah, let me find... There was this guy, the last name, Salmon. He was a pathetic bastard. Okay. Oh, found him. Okay. He sent out, and I sent out a big response. And I'll give you guys backstory, but let me read his review. And it's a 1-star review, because I'm pretty sure he would give me negative 1,000,000 stars. Well, I'll give you some backstory. Okay, so this guy, he's like 50 something years old, lives with his mom. His mom is super nice lady. She's like a kind of a sickly woman, I believe. But and she has some to blame to raising a pathetic child. But he called me multiple times, and I told him like, hey, you want to sell me your architect collection? Don't do it, because I can offer. If you bring in $100 set, I'm gonna offer you a penny, because that's crazy. Like I told you, our location, we don't sell architecture to no one. We do not have an architect Lego fan base or customer base in this area. Like I've had architect sets that sat on the shelf for 2 years, like really nice ones. Okay, told them not to bring it by, and I told them like I have employees that could handle the trade, but like if you have $1,000 worth of architect sets, I'm giving you $30, because I'm telling you, don't bring it here. Because he told me he had an Ninjago. I'm like, bring your Ninjago, but don't bring architect. And we've done trades with him where he was super happy with the amount. Like I was very transparent. Like I'm giving you 35% off of what it was, because I need 35% profit for these particular sets. These ones I could do 20% profit only, because it will sell very well. I know it'll move by next week. So let's do that. Cool. Well, he brought an entire van of architecture sets only. And my employees came to me. I was in the back. I was in a meeting. And my employee, Eddie, at the time, super nice guy, and he was like, I'll handle it. And I'm like, all right, man. Like, I left notes. This is why he knows that we can't bring this here. But just be transparent and let him know that, like, why our percentage is the way it is. This guy threw a fit, yelled at at my employees, and by the way, he called one of my employees to fight him while there was kids in the store once. And it was like the day that I just left the store to my employees, and I went to go make a deal, and I was going home, and my employee called me. I'm like, I'll be there. Where like his mom had to beg him to not fight him. To not go outside and fight him, because also my this one employee of mine, he carried, and he's had to allegedly have to set off his gun before on his way home outside of the store. But yeah, so must read all to get full understanding on why I put this negative review. I would never write a review, but after today, my experience in this store, I will never deal with them again. The owner asked me to email him what I wanted and to sell, and I understood very well it will take a little, because he was in the middle of moving into another location. My mom and I even congratulated him for his new location, all as well giving him some advice that may help bring more traffic into the new location. But after today, the slap in the face and insult I received, I could not believe what he offered us, but it wasn't him I was dealing with, his employees. And his excuse not to come outside was he was in a business meeting, but I called ahead of time, letting him know we were coming. We brought over 37 sets all the way. Also, he didn't talk to me. Not true. We brought over... I think he did talk to me. But he didn't tell me he was bringing architecture. 37 sets already built, all nicely in boxes, as well as the manuals and boxes to the sets separate in one box. My mom having knee issues and getting ready for knee surgery, and myself having back and foot issue. It was a lot to bring in and get ready. He had one of his employees write up the number, and keep in mind I had already emailed him all this information a month prior to coming in there today. Like I said, told him not to do it over the phone, in person, and on email. I was also supposed to come the day before, but because of the rain, I told him I will handle it this day, and then it rained, so then he never showed up, because I told him the next day I'm gonna have a business meeting, and it's gonna be a long meeting, because I was trying to gather an investor and everything, and I was like, I'm gonna be in a pretty big meeting, I can't handle this. As a courtesy, letting him know it would be better to come the next day. He knew this way before and the day before when we would be there. So after close to 2.5 hours waiting for his employee, he asked if it was 36 or 38 Lego sets. I miscounted as well, as I missed one of the Legos. I decided to double check my count as well as my inventory. While he went to the back to talk to his boss, I assumed because he never came out to greet us. Instead of the employee correcting me saying you have 37, not 36, he says nothing. So I stopped him and said, sorry, I miscounted, it's 37. I showed him which Lego. He then took 5 to 7 minutes more to look up the Lego, went back to his boss, and comes out with a look of like he couldn't believe he had to tell me this, but right away says, sorry, this is my first time doing this and I'm still learning, but my boss said $250 for the 37 sets. And also say to tell them that right now architecture is not selling that good. What I find amazing was one of the Lego I sold him, he had it over 250% increase, and I never got that fair market value for that Lego. I think he's talking about the Coliseum, because it retired when he sold it to me. It didn't go up, but then it skyrocketed in price for a time, and then it's like, yeah, if it's worth this value today. And we kept track of that. Some of the sets, like sometimes in a month, a set could be worth like 120, and now it's worth 180. That, like, if you know business, you got, and you know the Lego market, you got to understand that. You got to keep track of that stuff. And it did sell, by the way. And he said, I'll give you a better price if I were to bring those as well. If I'm wrong saying this, how to buy and sell Lego if it's not brand new. Open, then you use the fair market value and also eBay to get the correct fair market price. Then take 50 to 60% off the fair market value, and that's your return. Also with bricks, like not bricks and minifigs, but with reselling Lego, you can't always go off eBay because people inflate the prices. You have to cross-reference Bricklink. You should cross-reference how well it sold locally. You know, you could use Facebook Marketplace. So then you can, especially Bricklink. Bricklink has usually the best prices, like how much is sold in the last 6 months. What's the average it's sold for? And that's usually the best value, like the most correct value of what it's worth, right? By the way, this is a very long review, and that's your return. I'm a very fair person when it comes to buying and selling things, and never once I felt so insulted like I had today. This will be my last time ever stepping foot in this store. I'm also a baseball collector, and not even those guys would pull a stunt like this. And the one person I feel sorry for is my mom, helping, lifting, and moving the Lego with her condition. Yeah, you did that, you moron. I wouldn't think twice ever doing business, or be careful what you're buying or selling. My advice is if you're going to sell, don't sell in bounce, sell individually. Okay, and then I try to be level-headed, but I also try to be like, F you, dude. I was like, Fabian. So this response, this was my response. Fabian, please read through this response in its entirety. Due to your temperament, I doubt you'll read thoroughly, but this will be my one and only response. I should have banned him before because I've had to yell at him over the phone to get him to stop because he was harassing my employees. And again, like if you call an employee of mine to fight outside, that's pretty effed up. So I'm not gonna stand for that. But unfortunately, I let him too much at the store because I try to be like, oh, you know, this is a customer. Like maybe he was a little. In retrospect, I was stupid to let him back in, but. 4 times prior to you, so one and only response. 4 times prior to coming in and selling your sets, I told you that we can't offer anywhere near to what you're looking for since pre-built architecture do not sell well at our location, and I also give you a list of the themes that do sell well. Since you are a fan of baseball, allow me to help you understand. If all my clientele are Red Sox fans, that it would be a terrible business move filling my store with Yankee memorabilia, since it would never/rarely sell. As to me not coming to greet you, I was in a meeting. I usually do not handle every trade. I started handling your trade because you not only threatened my employees while we had customers with children in the store, you tried putting your hands around one of my employees' necks, almost assaulting him just because you didn't like the deal. Yeah, that actually did happen. I didn't ban you or do anything more drastic because I felt sorry for your mother. She's a sweet and kind person, and I didn't want to add any more hardship that you already put her through. Now to address the blatant lies in this review. You were in the store for 30 to 40 minutes tops, not 2 hours. My employee never said this in his first time, and he came up with the numbers as he was trained to do. He came back he came to the back to consult with me, since everyone is aware of your reputation of aggression and how best to present this offer, in which you did not hear in its entirety. We do not have 215% markups. Lego is a fluid market and has increased and decreased in value almost weekly. That's why we give you an offer on the day, and it only stands for that day. Example, the Captain Rex from the UCS Venator sold for $250 to $270 on its own Bricklink when it came out. Now, with rumor of the same figure coming in, a microfighter, it is only going to be worth $5 to $30 max. Now, Fabian, since you stormed out of the store without hearing the offer in its entirety, let me explain what my employee was going to tell you. We can only offer $250 since our clientele rarely ever buys architecture. We can call other stores and see if they can offer the amount you're looking for, since we cannot. If another store accepts your offer, we can, as a courtesy, pick up the sets from your home/residence and deliver it to the other location, and then drop off money to you. You have not only been satisfied with our offers, you actually accepted them in the past, so you of all people know we pride ourselves in taking care of our customers and go above and beyond to help out. Now, just to conclude this response, you're officially banned from our store. Your mother is more than welcome to come by anytime. We love her. I urge you to not come by. We will not be accepting any apology from you. My employees do not deserve to be threatened or assaulted in the workplace. I made the mistake in allowing you to keep coming here. For that, I owe my employees an apology. For anyone trying to harass any employee of mine, I will defend them. I am a person that believes everyone has good in them. I hope you get better and never treat anyone the way you have treated my employees, especially retail workers. That was my response. That, and hit no replies after that, no response from him. Don't know if he read it, but he's certified crazy. You know, it was like, and it was really hard to build up the reputation from that store. Like I said, there was a lot of freaking a lot of lunatics before the previous owner, before corporate took it over and then sold it to me. You know, he did some things that I would say almost all honest people would disagree with, and I really had to build up the reputation of that location. And we got it to around 4.4 stars. I think at its lowest it was like 2.3 stars, and it was yeah, great response to review. That's how it's done. Yeah, because I know how to do, like, and that's the thing. People are like, oh, this guy, he says that's gay or retarded or whatever, so he doesn't know business. He doesn't know. I'm like, I know how to turn on customer service when it has to do with business. I don't have to put on customer service voice right here. I'm chilling. All right. But if somebody comes up to me at my place of work, I'm like, hey, how you doing, sir? How's the stock market today, brother? That's how I'm going to talk. Freaking morons. But yeah, like, that, trust me, like, this guy was freaking nuts. I remember once, like, there was this dude that was loud, and an employee of mine was in the back, and he just does this, like hey, if you know, something happens, I got your back. And I was like, chill. Because I remember I hugged him once. I'm like, dude, is that what I think it is? He's like, don't worry about that. Because he put his jacket down as well, and his favorite toy was holstered in there, and he just put it on the table. I'm like, what was that, man? He's like, don't worry about that, boat. He was a good dude. Man, I love my employees. They were awesome. Never been in trouble with bricks and minifigs. Never will now. I'm lucky to not have been into Legos that much. Relic, what's your thoughts on the Ray movie, which apparently they're doing? It's going to be backwards, unnatural, and must be stopped. That's what I think about it. It is a terrible move. Disney is full-blown retards. And, yeah, they freaking suck. They don't know what they're doing. There's no point of making a Ray movie. There is zero point in continuing anything Star Wars. Like, it doesn't even matter if they make a good movie at this point, because we know what it ties into. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a Rey movie, if they pull a Legends book and being like, let's tie this into our universe. It's still going to have Luke Skywalker drinking titty milk. All right. It's still going to have the lesbian kiss at Rise of Skywalker that doesn't need to be in a children's film, which they market it as a children's film. It's still gonna have freaking your Power Ranger Vespas in Boba Fett. Boba Fett is still gonna be a pussy. You know, Rancors are apparently not dangerous. They're just misunderstood creatures. Man, these things eat people. The Tusken Raiders are indigenous, misunderstood people. I'm like, they literally, like, most likely raped and humiliated and what's it called? Tortured Shmi Skywalker for fun to the point of death. These are not good creatures. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, so it's all gonna tie into that bullcrap. So why would we ever care? Like, even if they put out a perfect film, we might enjoy it, but it's like, oh yeah, but it's still gonna be Rey Skywalker. Like, we still get Snoke and Kylo Ren and like Luke Skywalker looking at his nephew and being like, hey, I know I helped my father who literally committed genocide, blew up planets, and murdered the people he was close to, and I still see some good in him, but this fool is a teenager and he's having a bad dream. Might as well decapitate him. You're telling me that's the same character? Actually, a wiser character of 20 years plus experience from the character we knew from Return of the Jedi? You're telling me that's the same guy? Yeah, freaking no. Did that answer your question, by the way? Ooh, Moron sounds like a nightmare. We do our best to avoid these losers, but luckily we get to directly choose who we do business with. Well, I didn't choose to do business with him. Well, you get to choose. I don't get to choose. Again, the Lego community. There's a lot of good people, man. So a Tuesday it is. Hey, yeah, MLS Tuesday it is. That was the downside of owning a store in terms of a community. Sometimes you get some strange people. I remember one of my employees, dude, this pissed him off greatly. He was looking for a piece of this set, and this dude, he was with his kids and he wants to buy the set, but he said like a piece was missing. He looked up the photo and we're like, oh yeah, we could find that for you, no problem, man. It's no charge, like just give us a minute. And he's trying to figure out like where exactly he could take it apart to put that piece in there, because we didn't realize. And then the guy's like, are you sure you're intelligent enough and qualified to work here? Dude, this employee of mine just looked at him like, and he was getting red, and this dude does not have the same complexion as me. He was getting hella red, and then I called the guy over because I didn't know what was going on, and then we just started chatting so I could let him do his work. And then he's like, man, that beer, like freaking, like, dude. And then he went off as soon as they left the store. It was hilarious. And for like the rest of the time that we worked together, every time he would like ask a question and be like, hey man, are you sure you're smart enough to work here? We'd pull that joke on him all the time. It was awesome. But yeah, Star Wars is dead, and I hope nothing is ever made again. I don't care if George Lucas came back. It's over. Yeah, I'm going to bounce. I'll DM you sometime. You have on my channel if that's cool with you. Take it easy. Yeah, for sure, man. By the way, Star Wars Underworld test footage. That looked cool. That looked awesome. Dang, you got some great employees. Dude, I did have some amazing employees. Mr. Game Guy. Agreed. All right. So you'll see my the guy that I will be interviewing tomorrow. There was a point where it's just me and him for like 6-7 months, and I did many interviews, and he's like, please just hire that guy. I'm like, dude, that guy came in with a choker and asked if we had like weed breaks. What are you talking about? I'm like, we can't just hire a body. Trust me, we need to hire people who are not sensitive, people who actually give a damn, people that we can guarantee they're not going to steal. Like, it's important that we take the time. Like if it's gonna take us a year to hire somebody, I'm okay with that. And then he was like freaking out. I was like, man, we're working so much, because like he would have to do everything with me, right? He would work 40 hours. I wouldn't make him work past that. But I'm like, here's the task we need to complete today. Clean these sets. This is the campaign we're doing. let's do this, this, and this. Like, man, we had some awesome stuff. A few YouTubers came by my location. They had some things to say. I don't agree with everything in their video because like they didn't record like our conversations. Like, for instance, there was a YouTuber who came by, recorded our store, and he's like, man, this is overpriced. I'm like, because it was like on sale on lego.com for 40%. And I think it was the Hulkbuster. And I'm like, hey, by the way, that's the original price. We do price match lego.com. And they were like, oh, okay. But then in their video, they're like, yeah, look how overpriced this is. And I was like, come on, man. Like, we talked. Like, I pointed that out. And another employee pointed it out. Like, you can always show, like, at our location, it was different than many locations. We did not increase our prices. Sometimes, like, it was nice because one thing that was nice is that it was great when customers would be like, hey, on Bricklink, this is like $4 cheaper. And we're like, are you serious? And then we'd be like, all right, like, my bad. Like, or like if there was a price decrease, it's like, hey, this is no longer $50. This is now only 35. We'd be like, oh, damn. Like, when did that happen? It's like, oh yeah, yesterday went like that was like the average that people were buying it for, or something like that, and it changed. And then we'd like look it up and then change the price. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. That was the difficult thing with the used sets and the minifigs. It was sometimes difficult to keep up with the price changes, especially when like announcements or rumors would make the price changes. So yeah, you really got to stay on top of things. But while we were there, like, they installed cameras. Well, one thing they lied about was they installed cameras in our location when Brandon and Josh took over, and they'd said that like, it doesn't record sound, it just picks up like visually. And I'm streaming on Kick as well, and we were like, really? Like, it doesn't pick up sound? And then later on, Carl told us, no, it picks up sound. Like, I have access to it, and I could hear your guys' conversation. I'm like, oh, word. But it picks up movement, then it starts picking up sound. So then, like, when we wanted to chill, we just talk outside or talk in our dungeon. We had this space where we can work on sets that was completely closed off, and we call it the dungeon. So that was, like, one of the first lies we caught on about. Yeah. I don't know how I'm on number 2 on tips when I donated. Whoa. Excuse me. Yo, Cody coming in hot with another $50. 50 for the great response to the review and being transparent. Also, the job is not labor. Your mind will be blown when we talk. Ho, 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 ho. I'm excited. Hopefully I'm smart enough to do whatever it is you're doing. I'm like, I have my own experiences, but I know about learning curves and all that. So if I'm too retarded for your business, you just let me know or fire me. I just don't want to waste your time. But yeah. By the way, Star Wars Underworld test footage that did look cool. It did look cool. Weed break, seriously. Oh yeah, there's some weirdos here in Florida, man. Dude, people that don't grasp concepts. Like, they'll say things in the interview that you're like, oh, I can't trust this person at all. Like, this person is a complete moron. Like, yeah, I did an interview with a guy that's like, hey, like, what's the policy of coming in late? Because, I live pretty far away, and I'm probably going to come in late quite a bit. And I'm like, dude, are you freaking retarded? Why would you say that in the interview? Like, I'm glad you did, because I'm not going to hire you. But that was insane. Yeah, I had 2 people ask if, like, they don't smoke, but can they take a weed break? I'm like, at a toy store where you deal with families and children and collectors. And, by the way, numbers, that's insane. That is nuts. I have a lot of stories from that store. It was probably to catch Brandon and Jeff's heroin addiction. Yeah. Brandon and Josh lied about the cameras having no audio. Yup. Yes, they did. So if they ever put it out, you could see our conversations when there's no customers in the store. They were wild. And yeah, we have like so many things they lied about, We had some great customers, man. Like we had a guy, like he didn't want any store credit or cash when he sold the stuff. He just wanted, like, if we got in a certain Bionicle, like if we could just give it to him, like, yeah, 100%. If you're gonna do this for us, like, there was a dude, a friend of ours. He would come in. Well, he became a friend of ours. He would come in, loved our store, and he's like, hey, if I like clean sets for you and build them that are kind of messed up, because I told him like we weren't hiring, and he just wanted like a side job. He was a pilot, and he was like, can I? Was like, instead of money, like, can you pay me in Bionicle? I'm like, yeah, because we got some solid Bionicle collections, man. It was awesome. We eventually had a separate bin of Technic and a bin of Bionicle pieces, and it was great. It was awesome. You can do, by the way, repping North Florida. By the way, Flagler out here. What the hell does that mean? A flagler? Is that a slur? Because then I'll start saying it. I love slurs. You can do and learn anything you put your mind to. Almost every job is repetition outside of problem solving. Yes, it is. Knee pain. When interviewing software engineers, I had one guy who got hostile when I asked him about doing code reviews. He was offended that we look at each other's code. What? That's insane. Like, why did he just copy and paste somebody else's code and just like, or just take credit for other people's work? Is that why he got pissed? That's insane. Oh my gosh. But and tomorrow I will ask. Remind me. I will ask what the employee thought of Joshua Johnson, because man, he was a nightmare. Like, ugh, he's a freak. But yeah, there was this employee at the store. He not employee, sorry, customer. That he was obviously, he would partake in the same team, if you know what I'm saying. Well, he first came in with like granny panties and whatnot, and very feminine like, and he came in with his grandma. It's fine. He didn't like it when I talked to him, okay? And then my other employee would talk to him, didn't care for it. But the employee that's coming in tomorrow, he took a liking to him. He's a little bit of a burly guy, kind of looks like a bear, all right? And he would point at all like the sets at the top shelf and ask my employee, "Can you get that for me?" And he'd grab it. And me and this other employee, we're just like staring. We're like, yo, what's happening? And then he like put his arm like this around his shoulders, like, "Oh, you're so strong." And then he just like, yeah. And then he just turned around and he just be like, we were just there at the counter laughing, dude. And this guy came in another day in a woman's fluffy crop top, belly button showing, high heels. And I'm just like, huge Lego fan. And he asked, is this employee in today? I'm like, oh, actually he is. In like 5 minutes his shift starts. I'll call him for you as soon as he gets here, because I'm like, this is gonna be awesome. So then he walks through the door and I'm like, yo, this customer right here was looking for you. And then he just looks and he's like, oh yeah, let me just put in my bag down. And then he just looked at me, he's like, I'm gonna effing kill you. And I'm just like, yeah, but make the sale first. Dude, he was in love with him. He's probably not watching the stream. He's not gonna be too happy about the story. Bionicles were sick. I would bet $1 bajillion that Josh Johnson abuses heroin-based medicine like painkillers. Probably. He really likes it. He keeps pointing it out. The cop said, Hydra. I don't want to defend those pig scumbags, but Hydra is an immersive simulation-based training. Also, why he talked about the Desert Eagles, which is 50A handgun. Don't know. Stimpson's JCat. Has anyone ever tackled the Ultimate Millennium Falcon or Huge Titanic set? Those are long builds. Yeah, so like there was we got in a, and here's the other thing about trades, right? If it's a built set and it's damaged in transit or it's in a box by the time it gets there, then if we quoted you like a price, like let's say the Millennium Falcon's like $700 UCS outside of the box, and we quoted him like $550, but it shows up in pieces, we're like, dude, the amount of labor it's gonna take for that, like we would usually tell him like, we can't take it, man, I'm sorry, like I don't know what to tell you. And then this one time, like the customer's like, I just need some money, like can you give me like $50? I'm like, look, I'll give you 100, but like, yeah, because I'm like, this is gonna be like $100 a book. Maybe we could find some solid minifigures off the new ones, because there wasn't really solid minifigures off the new ones, because they had the sequel bullcrap. It had Ray and freaking old man, hand loser, you know, hand solo. It's not a very clever name, my bad. Old hand job. There you go. There's a name. But then I had this lady from church, very nice lady, and she loved Lego. She loved it. And she was like, can I build that for you? And I'm like, yeah, actually. And then she would come in every other day or so. I would set up a table in the back that she could just dump all the Legos and it won't spill out. And she would just build it for us. And it was awesome. It took her like 2 weeks. But yeah, the Titanic is more, I would say it's a lot more boring. There's a company called, it's one of my favorite companies. There's a lot of companies that I actually really, really like, that do like Lego mocks. Like, but here, it's like, so Bricker Builds is one of my favorite ones, but there's also, I think, Brick Vault. Is that it? If any of you guys know Lego, let me know if it's Brick Vault. They do like UCS Brick Vault. Yeah, they do UCS. They do like Halo mocks and stuff like that, and really make it a nice, solid build. They make it things that are minifig scale. They do some gay things like the bombers from The Last Jedi. Unfortunately, you know, I don't know how much that sells, but they like sell the instructions and the piece count and what you need to do to get it. Builder Bricks is awesome. They're the ones that designed this Lego Spider-Man life-size bust, and I designed like most of the store. I had a Lego Master Chief helmet in the store. I had a Captain America shield hung up on the store. I had all the three Charmander, Pikachu, and a Squirtle, and they're pretty expensive. It's like $1,500, something like that. I gave the Charmander to one of my employees, and we also sold those. I had they have a light up the Tony Stark proof that he has a heart thing. We had that in the store. We had a lot of different product in the store. It was fun. If you look at like my very first live streams with one of my employees, you'll see a Squirtle in the back and the Master Chief helmet at some point. But yeah, the Titanic set is a big project. We had it new in box. We had the Millennium Falcon UCS new in box as well. We had like really good items, really good product in our store. It was great. It was a nice mix of collectors and what's it called? Like your regular employees not employees, regular customers, you know, your kids to adults and to like army builders and whatnot. Yeah. But most don't. It's not commonly known. Oh, that was your response to a friend of yours. Okay. Like that they say, you don't know what we do, you can't talk about how we do our job. Yeah, that's crazy. I've been on the fence of buying the Titanic set. I want to see if my local Brick Builds has it. Is that like is Brick Builds like a mom and pop shop of Lego? Dude, I recommend getting it. You can even get it as an investment. I think it's gonna go for a lot when it retires, but it's a really solid build. You just have to have the space to display it. That's the problem. A lot of Lego, you gotta have the space to display it. But yeah, one of the biggest things that I realized that Josh and Brandon don't care about the bricks and minifigs, and it might have been their strategy to steal and destroy the store, was when they weren't even posting on social media. When I thought I was going to sell the store back to corporate, because they had first right of refusal in the contract, right? I'm supposed to contact them first. I explained to them, all we need is marketing. This store is perfect. We got a good clientele, but it's we're on upward trajectory, but I don't want this trajectory. I want this, right? I'm like, and that requires money. I have to pay a marketing company or get a marketing team. I have to reach out to the community. It's going to take a lot of money, but the reward is going to be way more, because we were already on that trajectory in the previous location. And I told them that it's all marketing. That's all we need. It's the only thing this store needs. And like I said, I cut off almost every single investor other than Tricked Out Bricks and Brick Arms. And I don't know if this company wants me to say, but one of the companies that I really loved, there's multiple. Like for instance, like Brick Vault was never a vendor, but I would buy their instructions and build stuff, and it was awesome. But yeah, like there's a company that I really loved, and they were a vendor, but there was like they became a vendor like towards the end of me being an owner. But yeah, I won't say if they're still. I don't even know if they're still affiliated with them, but I'll keep them out because I love that company so much. But yeah, I noticed that there was no social media. There was zero marketing, and like they even stopped posting on all the social media that we owned. And then, like for instance, our Instagram page, I think it went down, but it used to be like above 2,000 followers, and they were almost all of them were local. And that's where we would post to be like when a set would come in that's like very sought after, or just a brand new set would come in, or something that just looked nice, we'd post there or post on our story and all that. And they just stopped posting on that one, and they posted on their brand new one. And they also did the raffle thing, like if you come in and leave a review or something, we'll give you we'll send a raffle, and this and whoever wins will get a free UCS Jabba Cell barge, which lasted for like 2 months, and then they just decided to never give away the Jabba Cell barge. That was like the only marketing thing they did, or advertising, whatever. And then from then on, just nothing. Crickets, Then when they forced us to do the party room, even when they're like, this is gonna be the thing that blows up, they never even marketed the party room. They would never give us a budget to be like, hey, why don't we like connect with the local schools, and then like tell them like, oh, the first 10 students that want to tell their parents that they want to party here, it will be for free, and at least it gets people through the door or whatever. No, they wouldn't give us the go ahead. They wouldn't give any money to Carl so that he can actually do his job, right? And boom, like I said, there were days where nobody walked in, like not a soul. When they took over, there were multiple days where I think we had a whole week once where we had zero sales. I was like, some people walked in, but it's just because they saw the store, and I'm like, dude, there's no marketing here. What the freak is going on? But yeah, so they truly did sabotage that location for like 7 months and just effed around. But yeah, but more on that tomorrow. If you guys got questions about bricks and minifigs, feel free to ask. But let's talk about lanterns. All right. I don't know if any of you guys are hyped for that show. I know they released another trailer, but it's kind of a little too late. Here's why I don't really give a damn about the show. It's gonna be a very, very mature show. It's gonna be an HBO show. They already said the F word like 3 times in the first trailer. When I think HBO, I think of dick and tits. Like, that's it. Because you're gonna have Game of Thrones, you're gonna have Banshee, you're gonna have whatever it is that's on HBO. It's gonna be, your degenerate, perverted bullcrap to fill in the parts they can't think of the plot. right? So I'm not too excited for it, and it's another thing that you have to watch to understand where this universe is going to go to. So I think the DCEU has been dead since Superman, and the reason being is because, and it's dead financially for sure, because now families can't trust it to take their kids to go watch it. And I get it, like, oh, but it's PG-13, it's not made for families. I'm sorry, but superheroes will always be gravitated towards kids. And the smart business move is not to sell one ticket, it's to sell multiple tickets. And the best people to do that to are families. If you were a businessman, wouldn't you want to get the trust of somebody who could buy 5 tickets versus 1? Rated R is their own niche. That's fine. You can make it, but it shouldn't be part of the overall universe that's important for us to watch, because you can't watch it with your kids. You can't watch it with your family. Like, as much as Game of Thrones was huge, it was the biggest show ever. Unfortunately, because of the nudity, mainly just the nudity, you can't watch it with your family. I wouldn't even be comfortable watching it with my dad. You know what I mean? We're not gonna watch we're not gonna be together discussing of how like that incest sex was weird because we watched it. I'm like, isn't it weirder that we actually watched that together? That's weird. I'm not doing that. You know? So there's always going to be a missed audience when you make things too mature, too explicit, or completely cross the line. Like, you know, the Suicide Squad. Like I think what James Gunn's trying to do, he's trying to make what he did in the Suicide Squad overall in the DCU. He's like, we're going to make our universe just a completely mature universe, the rated R universe. I think that's what he's trying to do. And he wants to shift it into adult-like comics that, you know, like Tom King and the lead dude who like showed Bruce Wayne's wiener on a comic and sold it to kids. That's insane. You know, that kind of stuff. That's where he's headed. So I don't know how much more I could talk on that universe because it freaking sucks. Like what? Like the Supergirl movie, they had to do a bunch of reshoots and bring on David Cornsweet to have even a little bit of hype because nobody liked it in the test screenings. And it also, I already knew it wouldn't make sense if Lobo went with Supergirl but wasn't first appearance with Superman. That's weird. Why the freak is Lobo in there? That's dumb. But yeah, like I think that movie's gonna flop severely. And I think Toy Story 5 is coming out like the same week as Supergirl. So there you go. There's already some damage there. But I haven't really seen any hype. It's just like, and every time the actresses or the directors come out and say something, they just can't help themselves. They just say stupid bullcrap. Like, come on. Like, why would we watch a movie if you're talking about like how like men are perverted and always like judging your body and stuff like that? It's like, all right, well, way to ruin all the press and all the good word of mouth you had behind you, which was very little to begin with. Lobo was in Krypton TV series. Oh, is that? I did not watch the Krypton TV series. Was it like at least a good appearance? Yeah, Lantern looks poo. And David Fillion shows up. And again, they keep... that's another thing. They keep changing the timeline. It's like, this is going to be the first movie or show in the DCU timeline. And then it's Clayface. And now it's Lanterns. And it's just like nonstop. They're probably going to make another movie. Maybe The Martian Manhunter. And be like, this is actually the new first freaking movie in the timeline. Like, my guess is when you put out their little garbage Star Wars crawl for Superman and said like people have known about metahumans in 300 years, to me that's like you're opening up the universe to be able to do stories of either original characters that you're going to create or characters from other comics that people don't know about in the DC comic universe, and you're going to make stories about, you know, 1700 superheroes in DC and then time travel bullcrap. And then that again is going to be the new first movie or show that's the first of the timeline of the DCU, and it's always going to be some bullcrap. But yeah, and I'm a huge DC fan, very big DC fan. But whatever, my dreams have been crushed. It's like everything I like gets raped. I got Halo, that's dead. That's gonna suck. Got Star Wars, like that. It's just been violated over and over again. Just a dead corpse being raped by animals. And then you got Marvel, and they kind of have some slight comeback maybe, but don't believe it. And what else has been destroyed that I once loved? I don't think you could ever touch Lord of the Rings. I don't care how many movies they make or show. Like, that's a learned fandom. That's the books. And as much as the Hobbit movies are not that good, to me, they are beautiful. I love them to death, even knowing their flaws. The Lord of the Rings is the perfect trilogy ever been created. Nothing comes close. It is awesome, even if they do very different things in the books. And you guys might not like this, but there are things that I think Peter Jackson and the movies did a little bit better than in the books. You can crucify me all you want, but I love Lord of the Rings. What else? Is there anything around here that's gonna jog my memory of things I loved that have been ruined? I guess that 70s show's now ruined because of that 90s show. Yeah. Obviously, my love for bricks and minifigs completely ruined by getting shafted with a spiked dildo with no lube. That's because that's what's happened. That's what it felt like. Not saying I have any experience in that area, but that's what it felt like. All right. Yeah. So, not much to say on the Lanterns show, and I'll watch it when it comes out. I just don't have any faith in it. I don't have any belief that it's actually going to be good. Now, it might be good. Like, let's say it is good. If I watch it and it's good, that's great. But then again, I can't watch it with my kids. Like, I was hesitant watching some of the cartoons that had Green Lantern in it, so that my son doesn't get like an interest for Green Lantern and then want to watch the show. Because I'm like, they don't watch a whole lot of TV, but I'll give you guys an example. When I was a kid, I was in Brazil. My dad obviously worked a lot. He came home, and me and my siblings, I think I was 3 or 4. I was 4 at the time. We were watching Simpsons. And my dad took a shower and went to go relax. And he's like, "Hey, what's this cartoon that they're watching?" My mom was like, "Oh, it's just a kid's cartoon that teaches them about life and stuff like that." And then as soon as my dad sits down, the Bart asks Homer, "Hey, where do kids come from?" And I don't know if it's the same translation from Portuguese to English, but Homer was like, "Well, son, when there's a man and a woman in the back of a car." And then my dad's like, "Yo, what the freak is this?" He's like, "You're showing this to the kids? This is nuts." And then changes, and she's like, "My bad." Stay-at-home moms, or just any adult that has 3 kids running around that are all little, they're not always going to have the time to research what this show is about. Dude, if I'm not on YouTube, I'm not in the media, I'm not this nerdy, but I'm like, hey, kids love superheroes. That's a superhero show. Says there are lanterns. There's a Green Lantern there. Boom, I'm going to put that on. And then it's just people effing. Maybe they're in the kitchen and they don't even hear that. They just hear weird sounds and then they'll turn it off. But there you go. You already scarred the kids. So I don't I always have to tell my wife, hey, don't put it on. These are the years you never put on if you've never watched it. Anything above 2011 and up, you have to watch the entire show first before you show it to the kids. You have to know about this cartoon. Don't put anything live action unless I recommend it and I send it to you personally. Because if she's just just overwhelmed, the kids need to be quiet, let me go on HBO Max. There's always Teen Titans. There's this, and let's put something live action. Lanterns, boom. And just F this, F that. And my kids are like, dude, what's going on? It's going to mess with their mind. I don't let the kids watch Simpsons at all. No TV. Hey, I don't let them watch Simpsons, but I'll put it on TV every now and then. I'm not going to say I'm perfect. I wish I didn't show them any TV. But unfortunately, we have a townhome. I own a townhome. I don't own a house that has a yard. We would let them play outside all the time. But like I have like a lake right behind. Like I have no yard. It's just goes right into a lake, and multiple times there's like been a 12-foot alligator, 11-foot alligator just roaming around that we've had to call, animal services. And if they get big enough, then they have to actually take them out. And sometimes, like it happens more towards Orlando, like during the mating seasons for alligators. They like dark spots and like hot concrete, so they'll just lay down under your car, and you just have to kick the tire, and then they'll just run out the other side, and you're good. But like I can't just like throw my kids out in my neighborhood and let them play in the yard all the time. And we only have one car. Funny enough, while I owned the store, I also got into a massive car accident with the guy that's gonna be here tomorrow. So that was fun. But yeah, remember the original Green Lantern movie with Galactus Cloud? Yeah, and that already has a little bit of like sensual stuff in it that I can't show the kids. But it's actually the fart cloud, dude. Get it right. You had the Hulk movie with the fart cloud enemy, and then you had Silver Surfer, Fantastic Four with Silver Surfer, the second one, fart cloud villain, and then you had Green Lantern, fart cloud villain. There's got to be more fart clouds in there somewhere. Did Ghost Rider had a fart cloud villain? Can't remember. But yeah. Yes, mine watch movies before bed, the old school movies only. Heck yeah. And if we're on a long drive too, just no iPads and internet access. Yeah, we don't like our kids are prohibited from touching phones and iPads. Like we don't allow that at all. Like and they like to hear like when I tell stories. I love telling stories, and I love writing and making up stories. So like if we're in the car and it's a long drive, like if we're going on a trip, then I'll just start saying a story about a knight and a princess and castles and dragons and whatnot, or I'll use their names as the characters, and they love it, and they enjoy it. And my wife is like, she's Korean, scorch earth. Yeah, she's very, very much like always wants to do activities. And like my wife, she didn't grow up watching movies. Like she went to school from the ages of 4, and ever since, so like the laws changed a little bit, but at the time she would go to school from 7 a.m. to 10 o'clock at night, Monday through Saturday. Summer break is like a few days long, but it like practically all year, and did that from all the way she was 18. So like she didn't know about movies. Like all her games, it wouldn't be video games. Like she played like Sims and things like that, but like they would do like a bunch of different games. Like she teaches me games all the time. Oh, we could do this, and it's like a math game. It's a really Asian game, but it's a solid game. It's a fun game. It's like Samyuku. That's the what's it called? The saying that you have to say in the game, and it's really, really fun. But you do have to keep track of numbers. So like when we were dating, I told her about Star Wars. She's like, "What's Star Wars?" I'm like, "You don't know about Darth Vader and him being the father and stuff?" She's like, "I don't know anything." I'm like, "Oh!" And then I showed her all 6 movies, and it was awesome. It was like showing somebody for the first time. When during Empire, when Darth Vader's like, "Luke, I am your father," she jumped from the couch and she was like, "No, he's got to be lying, right? There's no way. That's Darth Vader. He's the bad guy. There's no way he's his father." I'm like, "Looks like we gotta watch number 6 now, don't we?" And then she was like, "Oh my gosh, there's no freaking way." It was awesome. I love showing them Lord of the Rings. At first she didn't understand the innocence thing. She's like, "Why are these hobbits just dumb?" I'm like, "They're innocent. It's different. They're not dumb, they're innocent. This is why they've been sheltered. All they know is the Shire. There's no problems. There's not even other humans that go into the Shire. Like Gandalf's not even a human, he's a wizard, And she's like, okay, I think I'll buy that. But yeah, it was awesome. That's how creativity's made. Galactus looked better in the new Fantastic Four movie. At least it wasn't a fart cloud, although the female Silver Surfer. Yeah, and then they made Galactus just a guy that's crying about wanting to be retired. That's insane. He looked great, and great actor for Galactus, and for a live action look of Galactus, I think it looked amazing. But unfortunately, the movie is not that great. My kids constantly want stories. Heck yeah, man! I'll send you some stories. I got a lot of kid stories from Brazil that I think can be translated, and kids love it. It's usually have to do with like being outside and whatnot and exploring and stuff like that. My daughter was so angry when I printed all the lyrics from every song on her playlist. But if you can't repeat the words regularly, is seeing them different? Ooh, yeah, that sucks. And unfortunately, all the good songs say bullcrap. Almost all of them. Show her like old school rappers and singers that just talk about just life and their experiences, you know. Not also those artists. Like, I think there's not any artists that have there's almost zero artists that do good music and have all like solid songs. That most of them have like a dirty song here and there. But yeah. Oh, sup a hero. F you, man. Don't even make those jokes around here, bro. All 6 movie. You forgot the other 3. By the way, at the time, there was only Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Oh, wait. Yeah, and The Last Jedi. Both of them came out when my wife and I were dating. Or actually, the first one came out before I met my wife. Hello, the Relic and chat. What's up, Silicon Dave? 2797. That just kind of reminded me of Star Wars, where like, are you username Layman's 2117? But yeah, that was the first time I thought it was like really cool that like a cop was a scumbag when it said to pursue and enslave. Obviously not as cool with the American Police Department. You know, getting the Decepticon motto. Which hopefully I'll have news on that in the near future, but I'm still working on things. But yeah. I also did want to talk about Marvel. Marvel ain't doing so hot, but Marvel's been quiet. Been real quiet. Even like the Spider-Man, like there's no push on the Spider-Man coming out soon, which is weird. Not even a second trailer yet. You know, and they still haven't put out a trailer for Doom. I don't know if they're trying to make sure we're all focused on Spider-Man, but like, you're not even doing anything for Spider-Man. So what's up? And again, I think Doom is going to be convoluted and it's going to suck. And I don't want any more cameos or like cross multiverse stuff, because it's just like, you're just going to ruin the things I loved before. No, I enjoyed No Way Home. I did. But the first 40 minutes is pretty garbage. Doctor Strange is a retard in that entire movie. That's just facts. It cannot be. We can debate it, but you're gonna lose. Sorry. Doctor Strange used to be an intelligent doctor. Now he's just a bumbling moron. But yeah. But anyways, yeah. Like, one thing I truly loved about the store is just seeing my kids and other people's kids in the store. And they love the Marvel section. So if you saw the second store where I had the Eiffel Tower in between all the bulk tables, I eventually put Tobey Maguire Spider-Man minifigure on there, right? And then I was building up all the villains. I had Dr. Octopus on there. I had Green Goblin flying around. I had the Vulture right on top of the French flag. Like, it was really, really awesome, because that's the only thing that's like alive for me is the comics and some of the old movies. And we would play the movies in there every now and then. It was sweet. But yeah, like we were designing the Eiffel Tower to have like this huge battle of Spider-Man and all his villains, all of them. And unfortunately, there's no like big fig for Venom, which sucks. But yeah, I think I did put Venom eventually, and I put Mysterio on there. And I was gonna create like little illusions. I was gonna build a giant Sandman coming from the bottom, going up. It was sick. My daughter was so angry when I printed all the lyrics. Got that one already. She is 10. I can't control what they will hear at school, but I want them to feel uncomfortable when they hear and see things that are normal. Conviction is my goal. Heck yeah. Like, look, I was very lucky that my mom had a bigger vision than what the world has. She wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and she didn't see anything more valuable than that in the world than being a mother. And she told me, just like probably everyone has, like they want to feel like they're being useful to the world, and sometimes like it's so monotonous that your day to day that it doesn't feel that way. But every time I saw something I shouldn't see, or I had a question, just my mom being there, I could trust that she can like help me out, answer my questions, you know. And when I was a teenager, whenever I would screw up big, like she didn't even have to hit me. Like, and trust me, like she got a mad swing. But I was so scared of disappointing her that I would clean up my act when I saw that, you know, I was caught and I disappointed her. And even things that she might know about them today, but at the time I felt like she didn't know about them. Like I would stop doing or fix those issues because I'm like, I don't want her to think less of me. And I know she's my mother. She's probably not going to think that way. But she instilled that in me. And yeah, like, trust me, a good parent, like, regardless if your kids are being stupid, they'll remember your love and everything you're doing for them. And how uncomfortable you make them feel, it will stick in their memory. And that's, yeah, I have so many stories with my mom. You guys would freaking die laughing. She's awesome. Yeah, Punisher, one last kill was not bad. It was not that good either, bro. But yeah, it wasn't bad. It was just kind of like whatever. It sounds all like a sick scene. I still need the Hobgoblin, Anti-Venom, and the Spot to name a few. But I did get the older Craven minifig. Dude, that's an expensive minifig. It's like, did it go down in price? It's like only $45 now. At one point, it was $75. Craven minifig. But yeah, Alfred Molina as Doc Ock was perfectly cast. Hell yeah, it was. Mr. Soap and Clay, hello. But yeah, when I was I know I'm bouncing back and forth between topics, but I'm just going off memory. I remember when I was showing my wife the business plan when I was going to get the store, Bricks and Minifigs, and I was showing my wife and my father were the only people that knew about it. Because my father was a CFO for a company for 21 years, and he also is a commercial realtor, so he knows quite a bit. And I would show him everything, and everything checked out. My wife was like, okay, just answer me this. Are you taking this opportunity because you want to play with Lego all day, or is this like a good business opportunity? And at the time, yes, it was a great business opportunity. And I was like, yeah. Like, dude, we weren't swimming in dough, but we were like breathing. You know what I mean? Like we weren't living paycheck to paycheck. It was nice. Like, whenever we needed funds, like, it was there. You know, we weren't splurging either. We weren't like going on vacations every day. Like there was whole weeks where I slept at the store, fixing it up, making it the best thing ever. You know, really focusing, studying what sells, what doesn't sell. And it's very correlated to the movies. Like The Eternals, that's not a children's movie. There's homosexual relationships in it. I don't care what your belief is. Sexuality in itself shouldn't be near kids. So homosexuality should never be near kids. When your kids hit puberty and enter junior high, they're going to see a bunch of bull crap at school. They're going to see it. And that's not teaching. They're just going to have an experience, see that stuff, and then if you as a parent instill with them, you know, trust, and that they could come to you with any question, they're going to ask you, and then you're going to have a chance to teach them. You know? That's simple. And maybe out of the blue, they see something on the street a little early in life, and you get a chance to teach them at the capacity that they understand. But like The Eternals came out, and yeah, as you know, it sucked, did terribly. All the sets did awful. Anything that had the Eternals in it, awful. And a lot of people didn't understand that. They're like, oh, this is like 40-60% off on Lego.com. And then a bunch of stores would fill up with the Eternal set, and they would never move. And then they have to discount it. Like it was really really dumb. Anytime somebody was gonna open a store, or even other stores that weren't Bricks and Minifigs that I would have contact with, we would talk to each other, especially those who didn't understand Lego collecting. I'm like, you have to be objective in the movies. You can't attach how much you like a movie. You could be the biggest Eternals fan ever, but understand that it is garbage. You could like something that's trash. And that's really hard for normal people to do, for anybody to do. Like, I love The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. One of the worst movies you'll ever see. And I freaking love it. It is a garbage movie. There's super boring parts. Things that make zero sense. But to me, it's awesome. Love it. That's what you call a guilty pleasure. All right? But I don't really feel guilty watching it. I know it's stupid, but I love it. You know, like Van Helsing. There's a lot of garbage parts in it, a lot of stupid things. Still love it. Still great to me. So, yeah, and you got to know when something is trash and people love it. People are going to buy it. You have to know that. So you also can't, you really got to study. You can't just be like, oh, this is Marvel, it's going to sell. This is Disney, it's going to sell. Dude, the Wicked sets didn't sell. The Wednesday sets didn't sell. You know, the Black Little Mermaid didn't sell. But like cartoon princess stuff, Disney sells like hotcakes, man. Like quick. And if it's minifigs, it can't just be the Friends figs. New in box, that will sell. Out of the box, doesn't sell. Just doesn't. Unless it's very, 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 very nice. But yeah. And that's the funny thing. And like one of the reasons why I like doing live, like going on people's show live, is because I'm okay stumbling over my words. I know people get on me for that. Like my very first interview with Echo Base, I said like I banned all Disney, and it's just Disney Star Wars. That's what I meant, because we were kind of talking about Star Wars. We were pointing that out because of his channel, Star Wars. So when I say Disney, like, and I banned Disney, I'm thinking Star Wars, but I did misspeak. But I like live because I can answer people's questions. I could clarify things, and you could see genuinely what are my thoughts. I don't want to like go on somebody's channel and like it's just our conversation they edit later. Because you know, it doesn't matter if it's a perfect edit. People are going to misconstrue things or like judge things that don't seem like they align in their head. But that's why I like answering questions, because I do, and doing it live. Like if I could do live only and never do a video on my channel, I would. But YouTube doesn't care about that. They really don't care. But yeah, Eternals belongs to at Aldi's and the landfill. Still never been in an Aldi's. I think all of Marvel movies since RDJ left have been horribly marketed, but otherwise are a fun way to spend a few hours. Oh, I'm glad you have fun with them. I don't have fun that much with the new stuff. Plus, Tiamat ended up in Cap America Brave New World, which was trash. Yup. Brick by brick. I see Digimortal, you're everywhere posting that brick by brick. Dude, you love that movie? Are you talking about League of Extraordinary Gentlemen? Or Van Helsing? Because I love both. I need to rewatch it. I've seen it so many times as a kid. Oh, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen for sure. Underworld or whatever as well. Yeah. I love monster-like movies. Love it. You know, a lot of them, or whatever as well. They call it, that's what my kids call the Little Mermaid. Damn, kids are gonna be some animals. How many kids you got, man? I'm on number 3. Numero tres. This is how much I love Lord of the Rings. My third kid, my son, my youngest, his name is Rohan. Pretty awesome, right? Pretty awesome. And my first is Achilles. F you, freaking Christopher Nolan, for screwing up, putting a Transformer as Achilles. That's crazy. But Brad Pitt Achilles, all right, solid. I'll leave it at that. Freaking, those people are animals. But yeah, and the Lego community does attract those kind of people, unfortunately. Like Lego did face some backlash like a few years ago because a bunch of employees are wearing the June flag, and they did face some backlash. And like some people, I don't like it when people harass employees because they might be forced, and like they try to like get clicks out of it. But like, you're dealing with a big corporation. Like, do something against Lego if you want to, if they're pushing out some message that they shouldn't be pushing out, because that's the thing. Like Lego, unfortunately, and that's the other thing about Lego that was really hard as a business. June tanked in sales for kids. It isn't just because it's summer, it's because of the whole LGBTQ crap. It does. In business, June is not good for kid stuff if the company is involved with that kind of stuff. Like the Queer Eye sets. Lego famously states we're not going to do any adult sets, and then they make Queer Eye. I'm like, there's nothing innocent about that show. It's a bunch of gay dudes who cut hair and talk about being gay. That's insane. You know, they did the rainbow figures. They even put in the new Ninjago show in the background, if you're not paying attention, some scenes, there's the LGBTQ flag. And it's like, that's like subliminal messaging. So, you know, they do some bull crap. Lego is not an innocent company. Anywhere they can make a buck, dude, if they could sell your grandmother for a buck, they will. All right, Lego is not an innocent company. Anywhere, it doesn't matter. They don't have integrity. They don't have morals. All right, but they got a great product. Lego is awesome. You got a great product. Yeah. What up, Christopher Latcher 3544? It's always good to see you, buddy. Always good to see you. I need to attach my freaking Streamlabs to this. And freaking Zombie Box, my man sends a 50, get that water bill paid. And I will, brother. Will. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Man, yeah, you guys are keeping the lights on. Maybe even literally. Yeah, you're a good guy. Oh, thanks. Memorial Rifle Range. It's a good memory. I've only been on a range once. I want to get a ton of guns. My wife, here, you want to know something funny? So my wife, being Korean and all, especially in the beginning of our marriage, she was like really against guns. And I'm like, her name is Sohyun. But everybody calls her So. I'm like, so think about it this way. Let's say you ban guns. To put it simply, criminals do crime. They don't care what the law changes to. They probably don't even know the law has changed. They probably do some things that are legal that they think are illegal. So they're retarded. So okay, if a guy comes at you with a gun in the house, what's the best way to protect yourself? Can I bring a knife to a gunfight? Like, even I who does jiu-jitsu, that's not gonna happen. And dude, she is a good shot. She took a pistol. I don't know the caliber. I don't know what it was. She hit I think she was like 40 yards away from the target. She shot 4 times. The first 3 shots hit the center target every time. And it was her first time firing that gun. And the guy a friend of ours who took us out to go shooting, he's like, dude, don't make her angry. And I was like, damn. And when I shot, didn't hit the target not once. And but I love it. Like, I'm a little scared of it, like especially having little kids in the house. And I know you could get a safe and everything, but it's like I'm teaching them now about gun safety. But you know, never touch anybody's gun, even if your friends want. Like, run out of the house if you're ever at your friend's house, they want to show you a gun, stuff like that. So I'm trying to teach them so that I can, and I'm gonna keep teaching them forever, and then show them how to handle guns and take them shooting at one point. Maybe I'll take them shooting BB guns soon. But yeah. Hey bro, I've been set back many times in life. You will come back as a million times smarter. Really believe in you. Thank you both. But League is what I was speaking about. Yeah, one of my favorites. It is awesome. What the F? What happened? I have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and almost 2-year-old and 5-month-old. Oh shoot. Yeah, dude. Like around, oh man, you beating me. You got 4 kids. Yeah, like my kids are around that. Dude, our kids can play together. My daughter will be 4 soon. She's 3. My son just turned 6, and my youngest, it will be a year old soon. Anybody watch the video on Lego Diamonds? Christopher Latcher, what about is that what you were saying? What the F, the gun? I replaced my broken heart from Star Wars with ancient history. Heck yeah, you should look up. You should look up. It's not ancient, but I think you'll have a lot of fun studying Vladimir the Impaler. Awesome. And you should study the Aztecs quite a bit. That's really interesting. Big fan of the wars that happen in Brazil. Highly recommend it. They're very fun and interesting. Very, very weird things that happen. If you didn't know, so in Brazil, one of the reasons why we're so diverse isn't because like we just love other cultures. Is because I think it was, I can't remember what state the country was in, if it was an empire or we were already a democracy or whatever it was. But the leader put down martial law because at the time, obviously we didn't have the knowledge we have now of science and everything. It was thought that the purest race, the ones that's not diluted by other races, will be the most intelligent. So they were worried that the Japanese that were there and the Africans that were there were gonna outsmart the rest of the population. And so it was mandated that you had to enforced by martial law that you had to marry and sleep with only people outside of your race. And some were forced to marry pick a slave that they had, because slavery was supposed to be abolished at that time, but a lot of people didn't want to give it up, and that you had to pick a slave to marry and have at least like 3 or 4 kids with them, and that way everybody was going to be equal. It's something good that came out from a really messed up way of doing it, but there's a little bit of information for you. Is that true? Is it true that Relic would eat some of the Lego? Some. I ate a lot. What are you talking about? I had to get that knowledge in there somehow, dude. Dude, I love those names. I don't even want to talk about the Odyssey. Bro, I'm an insane history addict, especially the ancients. Heck yeah. The Roman Empire is so freaking fascinating, man. I love their respect for their ancestors. As terrible as they became, there's a lot of cool things about the Roman Empire. Anybody watch the video on Lego equal diamonds? No, I don't know about that video. Replace my broken heart. Yep. By the way, Kermit or Muppet sit behind Ammon must have been a custom. Yeah, I think so. I think it was. Because there's no Muppet sets. There's Muppet minifigures, but no sets. So it definitely is probably a custom. Can I give you some advice? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Damn, center mass every time. Yeah, it went crazy. Go for it, Memorial. Give me the advice, dude. You can get those finger guards too. Oh, you see, like, I don't know about guns. I want to be educated more on guns. I really want to. My friend that's a black belt in judo that like got drunk and like threw me around his entire house. He has so many guns, and he carries a lot of guns when he goes out. And he's Brazilian. Talking about Lego, what I thought they were this wholesome company. Yeah, they are not a wholesome company. Like, think about it this way. They said they will never do anything war. And then as soon as they were hitting bankruptcy, instead of sticking to the guns, they're like, let's go Star Wars. There's war literally in the name. And then they're like, they're never going to pick a side on war. And they're like, we're never going to do tanks or military planes. But then Indiana Jones comes up and they're like, we could make a ton of money off this. They made literally Nazi minifigures. That's as war as it gets, bro. Like, yeah, they're not, whatever they say, they won't stick to their word. I wouldn't go in public with my family if I couldn't carry. I have to protect them, and I'm not dumb enough to think I can take on another gun or multiple people and protect my family. Yeah, I understand that. I'm just not as comfortable as I should be. I'm not comfortable outside when I go out with my family, but yeah. Funny enough, without even thinking, I do invite friends that usually carry to hang out when my family go out. And being Brazilian, we all try to collect a bunch of people together. Like, we're a party type of people, you know. 40 yards is a good shot with a pistol. Bam turning out to be evil birds was 100% a mind blower to me. Yeah, when it was happening to me, man. When everything was happening to me, I felt hell of alone. I thought I was the only bricks and minifigs that was happening to, when I try to reach out to people, tell my story. Like even some friends didn't 100% believe me. They're like, dude, that sounds way too crazy. And I'm just like, I don't know. Like the only people that believed me were my employees because they saw everything happen, you know? And it felt hell of alone. Like, it feels like you're the only person getting screwed in the world when it's happening to you. And that it takes you to a dark place in your head. And so, yeah. And you're like, and over Lego, dude. And like, in hindsight, like, I stated in my phone call when I was pissed, I was like, I know the law well enough to know that I could have filed bankruptcy if I didn't want this store anymore and liquidated all the product, everything, all my assets in that store, and put a ton of money that I probably would still have till to this day in my pocket. But because at the time I believed in the brand and everything, I called you guys first and wanted to deliver something beautiful, like a great place. And then they did all that. It was like an insane shock. I felt like the biggest idiot in the world too, like trusting these guys, and like they did everything they did to win over my trust, and it worked. They effed me over. But Julius Castro, those are two good names. Julissa Castro, still a good name. I have a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old. Please excuse my religiousness, but did you feel like step in to help when your landlord wiped your deck clean? What do you mean? Did you feel like step in? Julissa, if you could let me know what you meant by that. Your religiousness, but did you feel like step in to help when your landlord wiped your deck clean? Again, I'm from Brazil, so sometimes like even though some other people can make out what you say, I can't. Like, I need sometimes a little more detail. Even though I was raised here, I still need like full detail. But Julissa, if you could clear that up, I'll definitely answer that. First range is a real deal. However, been shooting since I was 8, and even though I could have anything I want, the very best gun I could ever recommend is simple Ruger 1022 22 caliber long rifle. Can anybody confirm, is that a really good weapon? Because I will go look it up. It was a good video, the Lego Diamond comparison. I haven't gotten much into South America beyond the invasion from Europe. Ooh, you should see how we in Brazil, how we ruined them and then got screwed by them at the same time. I'll be going there next. I'm so stuck on Mesopotamia to Rome. Dude, that's good. That's good. Also study about the Ottoman Empire and how they were involved in a lot of Rome's shenanigans that I can't find enough time to study at all. It's always going to be a rabbit hole. They have a finger guard locks. They fit right over the trigger. Sweet. I'm not into Lego Star Wars, sorry, but not only have you all hooked me on Reckless Ben Saga, now this, you sir, are interesting to listen to. Thank you. Heck yeah. I usually build a lot of mocks. Like, I think you'd appreciate, even if you're not into Lego Star Wars, the mocks that I build. Maybe in another stream I'll put it here for you guys to see. I used to have like a Lego castle right here. It was awesome. That one it wasn't my own mock. I found the instructions on it online, and I put 3 sets together and built a nice mock. But yeah, well, you ain't alone anymore, brother. Heck yeah, I'm not. Good morning, Mr. Relic from Rocky Malamute. Sorry, Brazil didn't have a great start to to the World Cup. Hope you are well. Yeah, I was really pissed about that. Here's my take on Brazil versus Morocco. We're definitely not winning the World Cup this year. If we to me, it's a loss. A tie is always a loss. I don't care what people say. It's a loss. Because 2 of their defenders in Morocco got injured during practice, and that week couldn't play that game. And then we tied to them. So that means we can't go up against people at their best, and there's going to be teams at their best. They're going to wipe the floor with us. Sorry. I would be shocked if we won. I'll be very happy if we won. I'll eat my words, but this ain't looking good. It ain't looking good. You have to learn first for sure. A Lego Terminator set would be cool. Oh, dude, okay. Go to Bricker Builds. I wish I could show you here. My stream will lag like a freaking like a retard clenching the class bunny, dude. It's gonna lag. It's gonna do all that. So yeah, go to Bricker Bills. They have like the Terminator. They have a full life size like bust of the head and torso. Like it's awesome. But yeah, I'm sorry you felt alone, but yeah. Oh, so I've said this multiple times. Like tears streamed down my face. I fell on my knees and prayed. Like I was when I think I was at a gas station when I got the call, and I immediately went into the car. Like when I fell on my knees, I fell. I was just like grabbed onto something and I dropped. And then I got in my car and I said a prayer of gratitude. And yeah, that was amazing. And I had nice support that came out. All my employees, old employees, came out to help clean the store. I had customers come out to clean the store, and I gave them a bunch of free stuff. It was awesome. You watch MMA? Yes, I do watch MMA. Ruger 1022 is solid. Get a Volk Quartzin trigger kit. Okay. God stepped in 100%. He did. Well, he was. That's the thing. He didn't just step in. He was always there. He just wanted to make sure that I knew he was there, and I should have been able to see it. You know what I mean? God's path is the hardest one, but next to him, if you know you're next to him, like it'll feel light. It's the same path, but it'll be lighter. I'm a single uncle with 3 nieces that builds Lego Disney Princess Castle Mox. Yeah, dude, I wanted to buy the Beauty and the Beast castle. Like they have. So if you guys don't know about Lego, the dark red pieces, I think it was 2018, they changed the material they use for dark red and dark blue. Because before, like if you had them even a little bit out in the sun or like in the garage or something, and you take the piece apart, they'll crumble. Sometimes you'll buy them and you'll put them together and they just break. And so not only did it have a lot of really good dark red pieces, but it was a beautiful set. And I wanted to make my own Belle castle for my daughter. Her favorite princess is Belle from Beauty and the Beast. And man, it's a great set. If you guys ever could get your hand on it, go get it. It's a solid set. It's a nice little modular. I like half modular set, I think. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but yeah. Yeah, that's a good uncle right there. Lots of pinks and purples and dark red. Yes. If you ever need more pinks and purples, just like go get your friend sets. They have a ton of purple. It's good for hunting small game or doomsday scenario. I'd buy a good pistol to carry this first, then an AR-15 5.56. Yeah, I was losing my place to live and didn't know what I was going to do. I was sitting in a parking lot just out of it. Some guy in a wheelchair rolled up and knocked on my window and gave me a bag of candy. Broke down. Dude, man, I'm sorry you went through that, and I'm glad that God touched someone's heart to reach out to you. Dude, that's always like man, it's always good when you come out of it. Like my dad, he would tell me stories all the time. It isn't just a religious thing. It's one of the reasons why I don't drink is because of his stories. My dad, he would tell me like, hey, before I found God, like I was hanging out with drug dealers, I was smoking a lot, I was drinking a ton, and then when I found the missionaries and started going to church, and his grandma's like my family's very heavy Catholic, and he had like that good base. And it's like then like I stopped doing all that stuff at once and got my life together. I'm like, yeah, how old were you when you quit drinking? My dad goes like, yeah, I was 10. He started drinking when he was like 4. You tell me he would like take shots of tequila at his grandma's bar when he was like 4 years old. He would light up my grandfather's cigars, and like I think 8 years old when like the first time he got heavy drunk because he wanted to know what it felt like. So he just kept drinking out of a keg at like a party at his uncle's house or something, and then he just went out on the street for like a few days and almost got hit by a bus and all that. He's like, God definitely looked out after me because I should have died 3 times in one night. Yeah. So I got some crazy stories. Mainly they're all freaking my dad's stories and my mom's. You were drinking at 13. That sucks. How are you now, brother? How are you? Good now. He said, I looked like I needed a smile. Yeah. And that's like being an adult sucks. It's always great. Like getting a bag of candy. How can you not smile when you get a bag of candy? Yeah, man. Like I never took up drinking just because like my dad's story, and then my grandfather, he passed away when he turned age 50 because of liver damage. But my dad said that he thinks that part of it was like depression, because my dad told me that at the end of my grandfather's life, he would catch his dad pondering. And my grandfather said to my dad once, hey, in this life, it doesn't matter what happens to you or what you do, it's all your fault. He would say that to my dad. Like, just remember, whatever you go through, it's your fault. And got a lot out of that. When I was like 20 years old, I went to my dad. I'm like, hey, Dad, I want you to teach me to be a man. Like, what is it to be a man? He's like, you want to know what it's like? You want to know how to be a man? Every time you step out that door, you don't come home until you got some money in your pocket. And I understood a lot from just those few words. I understood so much. My dad was like, yeah, he's awesome. 49, my life changed when I started going to church. Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, praise the Lord, my man. Colombia's wife's mother gave rum to all her children very young. Hey, man. Rum ain't that bad. No, I'm playing. But yeah, like poor life choices, poor life. Yeah. No, as long as like the thing about life is just about progression. We have regression, but as long as there's always progress and you're always trying to get to that path of progression, it doesn't matter where you are. If you're going forward, that's the important thing. Now, sometimes it really matters where you are, but overall, like as long as you get your life correct and then you forgive everyone that you can, and if they don't forgive you, that's on them. But you do your part. The hardest thing is just to live with yourself, right? And but be happy, cause I'm happy you guys are here. God's happy you're here. Not in the chat, but like in life. All right, trust me, He's a lot more merciful than you think. But yeah. Anyways, so the bricks and minifigs situation, like we're gonna end the stream here soon. Again, just to recap, tomorrow we are gonna have a special guest. He was an employee for 7 years. Started when he was 17, 17, got out when he was like 23, 24. He was one of my employees. He was employee for corporate, and he was employee for also another owner who started off honest and became one of the biggest douchebags ever. And yeah, so he's gonna have like a good perspective. Again, if you guys have any questions that you want to know, put it in I put up a post, put it in there, and I'll go off that post and read it to him when he's here. But he will be here live in person, so we could go for as long as we want. And yeah, but also on the DC and Marvel news, just to recap, I have no faith in them. I don't think anything good is gonna happen. I don't think it matters. But yeah, I had fun today. I hope that cleared up a lot of questions. I told a lot of people to stop by and ask questions. No, it's funny. A lot of people who like speak negative about me, when I tell them like, feel free to jump on the chat and ask my questions, they just rather believe whatever it is they put out, and instead of letting me clear up any confusion for them, they just never come back. So, and I know it's not healthy for your psychological mind to always answer everybody's comments and chat, but I find it entertaining. I enjoy it. And after everything I've been through, it's going to be really tough for you to get under my skin, man. Unless you're stabbing me, I think I'm going to be all right with whatever words you decide to use. or whatever claims you want to make. But yeah, salute to your parents, salute to your wife, salute to you. You all have my respect and prayers. Thank you. I hope to see you again on the streams. Echo Base Network, shout out to them. They're so amazing. They're helping me, giving me ideas, coming up with ideas of how I can spice up my channel and really provide solid content to you guys. And Camelot has helped me a ton too. He's awesome. And so if any of you haven't subscribed to either or, go and subscribe to them, Echo Base and Camelot. It's like Camelot 133 or something like that. My bad, Camelot, if I didn't get it correct. But they're the first two. Echo Base is the very first one. The first two to like give me the time of day to hear my story. So all of you guys are here because of them. Man, I wouldn't be here if I'd probably be here, but nobody would know. But if you saw, I wasn't really putting out my story on my channel, and the reason being is I felt like it was important to have the Lego community my story, and when I reach out, nobody wanted to hear. And if the Lego community starts speaking up way more, I know they want to stay positive. I know the Lego community they absolutely hate controversy, man. As soon as controversy comes, it dies out. They hate it. But it's important. Like when it starts happening in your own community, it's important to point it out. It's important to show that hey, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, and we're going to have to fight a little bit, and we're going to have to help this guy who in the court's opinion may or may not be innocent, which I think it's very apparent that even with some of the tactics that you might not agree with, they had overall purest intentions, at least way more pure than Bricks and Minifigs and Josh and Brandon as a whole. And they're facing millions of dollars in debt. It isn't just 1.3. They're going to want every profit that's been ever gained since this. It even said about influencers who are profiting off this. They might start, if they win, who knows? They might start coming after everybody who did a YouTube video. Who knows? We don't know. But obviously they're willing to do anything. Okay? So if the Lego community really jumps in and be like, okay, we got to talk more about Bricks and Minifigs, but they still keep up their content, just do an extra video every other day that you have been doing, or a live stream. Doesn't take much effort. Just pop up a camera and start talking. Pisses me off, man. Pisses me off when people are cowards. Some people said I was a coward because I didn't keep going after in the legal way, but I'm they found a way every time to make sure I can't sue. They found a way. And I'm a very little guy. I'm not Reckless Ben. Reckless Ben is a normal guy, but he did awesome work that I couldn't even think about doing. And he did it for Brian Mansell. And so even Crystal says she was skeptical when she heard about the whole Brian and Reckless Ben team up. But so I'm just here. I'm here. But I'll get back to the chat before we head out. Where was I? She researched all their shell companies. Who did? Oh, BJC. Yeah. Was on for 5 hours today. Lots of ID, good information. Yeah. Mr. Game Guy. Appreciate your words and the stream. Down with Bricks and Minifigs, brick by brick. Yes. I'm just finishing watching Iran versus New Zealand, then off to bed. Best wishes to you and your family. God bless. Hopefully New Zealand wins. They don't know how good Iran is. But yeah, I'm pretty sure my brother-in-law, that's where he's from. He's from Iran. One of my brother-in-laws. This whole case is important, way beyond Lego. 100%. J-Bits, Monster High. Lego community seems reserved when it comes to his whole situation. Some covered it shortly, then quickly pivoted, and I see lots of statements saying, we'll wait till an information comes out. I'm sick of that whole conversation. I'm sick of those statements, because obviously when everything comes out, there's going to be things that are way more clear. But right now, it's important to show. You're gonna, in a way, you're gonna help some bricks and minifigs owners, because you're gonna like let people know, don't harass every bricks and minifigs. These are the culprits: the Eugene, the Salem, and corporate, and everybody that's involved. And these are who you're helping. A YouTuber named Reckless Ben and Brian Mansell, who all he wanted to do was help his father. As far as we know, I get it. There might be information out that maybe they did some things that weren't, that we all will probably feel a little skeptical about. We might not even agree. You know, it's not like we're treating Brian and Ben as perfect people who never did anything wrong. But we do understand that bricks and minifigs are scum. You know, like I've seen some cases where like it's scum versus scum. But, you know, as for all intents and purposes, bricks and minifigs needs to be taken down a peg, and then they need to be exposed for what they're doing and who they are. And a lot of YouTubers are doing a very good job. But again, you know who's not doing a good job? Anybody in the Lego community. Some are reporting it, but those who are really going after this, who are really putting it out there, you know, they're not part of the Lego community. Like, what does that tell you? How many people are still affiliated with bricks and minifigs and hope they come out on top, but they're not saying nothing? You know, how many of these Lego YouTubers are not on the right side? There's a lot of good ones. There's a lot of them that are really reporting and making videos consistently. You know, and I'm not asking them to make videos every second there's a new piece of information, but like, don't let the story die. Like, put out some thoughts. Put out like what you how you think the community is gonna affect you, how it's gonna affect prices, if there's gonna be a problem. Maybe Lego start increasing the prices because they're getting great PR for Lego, but not great PR for bricks and minifigs. Will Lego companies start making franchise stores? Are they gonna allow people to buy into Lego franchising? Because Lego doesn't do franchising. Like, what? There could be so many things that they could create, so much content they could create out of these stories, but they're not. And it will keep the story alive of just speculation, just even entertainment stuff, and pointing out that, like, regardless, the situation sucks, regardless of the outcome. You know, like, I had great memories with bricks and minifigs as an owner and helping the customers and the community. And it sucks that those memories are now, well, not those memories, but like, people won't be able to create those memories anymore. And people that were customers feel like they got gypped because they shopped at a bricks and minifigs. You know, and now other stores that have nothing to do with bricks and minifigs that sell Lego, or like that are affiliated with just Lego, they're going to take some backlash too, because people are going to be way more skeptical even buying from them, and they might only have one location. You know, because all of the Lego community is being tainted. All of it. It isn't just bricks and minifigs. All of it. And it's getting worse because these Lego YouTubers, these Lego influencers, Lego community is not speaking up. So I think everybody is going to be mistrusting of all Lego YouTubers. Everybody who just does Lego stuff, they will be more skeptical following you, more skeptical listening to you if you aren't on top of this. This is more to help their channels. And mainly to help Ben and Brian. And just the case in itself, so that we as the public know the truth. And it's going to help understand, like right now, like we're still talking about Ben and Brian, but how many people are talking about the American Fork Police Department? Because that is just as big as a story as the $200,000 theft. They're both correlated, but it's two separate stories, like getting uncovered in real time. And the court of public opinion needs to have this hype when Ben goes to trial, when he goes to his hearing, because they need to know that it's still having an impact in the public. Like, we're always going to hear news about a certain, and rest in peace to that guy that just passed away in a helicopter crash, of, you know, celebrities passing away, of tragic news. And it's going to overshadow any other news, regardless of how important it is. But if we're not pushing that news back into the forefront, then maybe the court, by the time Ben's hearing, they might feel that it's not that big of a story, and this guy is just a whack job that is trying to profit from somebody's maybe not so honest dealings with the corporation. They might take the corporation side. That may be how they see it if they don't see that the court of public opinion is on top of this and they are outraged. It's possible. You know, they're not hiring everybody who's studied on YouTube or calling everybody who's studied on YouTube to be part of a jury or to be part of people who are going to judge Ben and Bricks and Minifigs. Some of them might not even know anything about any of these videos. Yeah. She researched, okay. Show words and stream. Case important way beyond. Yeah. Constitutional rights and civil rights. Yeah, that's also a big part. You know, the biggest part, actually. You had your family specific reasons you couldn't fight, but you are helping with your story. Thank you. I really hope I am making some sort of difference. Like, if I could help one person know that you should be careful and to learn from my mistakes and don't repeat the same, like, I'm very happy. 5 minutes left. Thanks for everything. 2-2. Damn, that's a close game. Best thing anyone can do is speak out and support the community. Random Consumer 198. They had to resort to those methods because the system failed Brian. He tried all of the legit methods. And remember, Bricks and Minifigs had the power to shut this story down first. He went to another YouTuber and scared the crap of multiple YouTubers, scared the crap out of them, and got rid of them. That they were too scared to move forward. Reckless Ben is the one that came out, and only after, not even when the video was published, only after it got crazy traction that some Lego YouTubers commented. And it really blew up when the second video came out, and then a lot of Lego YouTubers commented, started making videos. Like, the Lego community does not have backbone. Okay? Like, if you feel offended because I said that, then maybe you should look inwards. If you don't feel offended because you're part of the Lego community that does have backbone, you're welcome. After watching BJC break it down, they are definitely the scum of the universe. Villainous hive, like in Star Wars. No more wretched hive and villainy. Choosing not to decide is still making a choice. Yup. Curious for your take on financial analysis posted from Edge Dog on YouTube. I don't know. I'll go check out that video when I can. A lot of people send me a ton of videos, and yeah, like, I do want to see the finances, because when I came on and I saw like the business practices that were being had by the stores, I've always felt that raising your prices just so you can have more what's it called, more profitability was always disgusting. I was not gonna, that I felt like I know it's ripping people off. That's insane. This company is horrible. All the stuff they are linked to is just bad. And when I say like is disgusting, I truly mean like deplorable. And so I made, and I think for a lot of people, but if you just calculate correctly and trust in the like, if you make the community part of the reason you make money, which is, I know, crazy concept, but part of the reason why you can fill up your store, then those Legos will always be circulated within the community, and you'll always have a fully stocked store and profitability. And you will care about your customers. You'll turn those customers into clients, which is what you want to do. There is a difference. And you'll be alive forever. And you'll have the trust of the community when you're transparent. It's not hard to do. When somebody's trying to hide how to do a trade, what the prices are, whatever it is, that you're going to fail eventually. It's dumb. Like, I want people to feel like if they were shopping at my place, they were getting a fair or a better deal. It sucked when people come in, everybody says like, "Oh, I love your store." And then you get a review, because you're supposed to talk to everybody. You'll get a review that's like, "This place is a ripoff, 1 star." I'm like, I don't know who that was. But like, they didn't point out the set or some price that they thought was unfair. Because we would always let people, the community, know like we price match certain sets, price match certain things. Depending on the time, we can't always compete with the sales Walmart, Target, Amazon, or Lego puts out because they are billion, $trillion companies. We can't compete with those companies. But our price will always be fair. Like, it'll be retail or the market value. And sometimes we don't know when the market, this set is no longer popular in the market, and then it decreased its value by 35%, and we have a 35% markup. It happens. So yeah, I still can't get over the change their LLC name in the same day Ben's video dropped. It's all tactics. Have Amin or Matt done any more interviews since the coffee vid? Seems like all parties are becoming more tight-lipped since it dropped, which won't help. Okay, so no, it's when there's a gag order, that's by the judge, right? He's telling Ben, don't speak on it anymore, and it would have been a request from Bricks and Minifigs. But usually, from what I understand, I'm no lawyer, but from what I understand, it's a gag order for everybody that's listed. So Bricks and Minifigs can't speak on it anymore. And CoffeeZilla did all his interviews before the gag order, because then he couldn't have Reckless Ben even feature on that video. It just came out later. But they've been quiet ever since Reckless Ben has been gagged. At least I think, right? I could be wrong on that. If not, that's messed up, because the point is for the judge to be like, okay, I heard your story. Now I need to hear your story. Let's set up a date so we can hear your story, and everybody needs to stop talking. And then after that, if he wins his hearing against the gag order, I believe he can talk about it, or he can release the video and keep talking about it unless there's another gag order for a different reason. So that's my thinking. I could be wrong. Go talk to Legal Mindset or something and see if that's correct. Because again, I'm not a lawyer. Salute to Echo Base, and salute my cousins who love the law at BJC, my law nerds at EDB, and Legos Laws and Libation. Salute to communities who give a voice to the unheard unapologetically. And Buck. First, how dare YouTube not notify me that you were live when notifications are set to all? Second, Bam is literally proving in real time how cartoonishly evil they are. This is the one thing we all agree on. Yes, it is. Did you see that the judge in Ben's case apparently is Amin's cousin? That would be crazy, but their family is all over the place. So that might be a benefit. Who knows if his cousin hates him? I would prefer an unbiased, all across the board judge, because then we'll get like the true truth, right? We won't get anybody trying to destroy one another. But if that's his cousin, I'm pretty sure they can get another judge, because it's just a conflict of interest. There's no way you could be a judge and you have family ties to the people who are in the case that you're going to judge. There's got to be some laws behind that. So yeah, I doubt it. And if it's true, I doubt he'll actually be the one to stay on as judge. But yeah, I did not hear that. Does anybody else got any more questions? Does anybody? 'Cause I'm willing to answer. I'll give the last like 18 minutes to any of your questions that's in the chat. I told people I would. I talked briefly, or while I'm waiting for your questions, come up with where he is cousin. Yeah, I want to know too. I'll talk about Masters of the Universe and why I think it was a poo-poo movie. First of all, the action was awesome. One of the reasons I give it 5 to 4 out of 10 or 4 to 5 out of 10 is because of the potential that was lost. I enjoyed watching it with my sister, and I also hated watching it because I don't want it to be a serious movie, but I want to be taken seriously within the characters in that universe. I'm okay with the jokes. I'm okay, not with all the jokes, but I'm okay with having it jokes and being light and being connected to the cartoon in terms of like the style and how cartoony some of the jokes can be. That's fine. But when you take like adult language, like cursing, like the degeneracy, and putting it into Skeletor and everybody over at Castle's Gray School, and like the characters that are not supposed to be part of the human realm, and they're saying curse words and saying things exact same as humans do, it takes away from the magic that's supposed to be built. And then when you're implementing sexual jokes and it's explicitly sexual, that's a problem. Like if you look at Shrek, and like for instance, one of the jokes that Shrek says to Donkey is like, "Oh, that's a big castle. I wonder if he's compensating for something." And then he starts laughing, and Donkey's like, "Huh?" There's so many layers to that joke that you can attribute it to so many things that still work. It's funny on different levels. As an adult, you can't think it's a sexual joke because, like, is he compensating for something? And that something could be his wiener. Or you could still have, even as an adult, being like, oh yeah, it's because he's a freaking, like, I can't use the fun word, little guy that he wants everything big, right? Or to a kid who understands it, that's what they're going to take from it, is like, oh, it's because he's short and he wishes he was big. And then there's scenes like Lord Farquaad, it's solidifying that joke and what you thought that joke meant. Oh, it's because he's little and he wants things big. But you can still take it as an adult joke. Shrek is one of the most beautiful ways of having jokes that can be comprehended by adults and kids and have different perspective and connect in both ways. And that's why it's a really good movie. He-Man didn't do that, and they should have done that. They should have done that and should have had less jokes. And also, they should have had more character arcs. At least 3 characters that have an arc of growth. Nobody really had an arc of growth. And then, for some reason, Jared Leto's the best part of it. And that's my simple review. Never thought I would say Jared Leto would be the best part of a movie. But Skeletor was phenomenal. I would watch all the scenes with Skeletor again. And for some reason, Alison Brie was a terrible actress. Even if she's supposed to be like close to the cartoon version, that was awful performance. Completely ridiculous. It sucked. But yeah, back to the chat. Conflict of interest. Where did that come up? Yeah, already read that. Have they come for you since you went public with your experiences with BAM? Yes, and I mentioned this before. After I was featured on the Reckless Ben video for like 5 seconds, I got a phone call from Matt McNeff, and pretty much saying, don't get involved. It's not going to be good. It's not going to look good for you, threatening me. But I stated, and we've had a long argument because I was pissed, that, I already talked about my story. I already communicated with Reckless Ben. So after this, I understand. But if Reckless Ben reached out, wanted to reach out to me today, I talked to him. Don't give a damn. I haven't. I only talked to him then. And it might be that he's, maybe he hasn't reached out to me because he's trying to protect me as well. I don't know. Or it's just not crossing his mind because he's probably gotten like a million different letters and emails and whatnot. But after that conversation with Reckless Ben, I told him after the fact now, you can't sue me for. You could only come after me after you told me don't get involved from this day. But I already got involved before, so that's where I think I'm safe. But I could be sued any day now. But ever since that phone call, and it was before I got on Echo Base Networks channel, and from then I've been pretty solid. So haven't gotten any. Maybe I should check multiple different emails because I have a few. But I haven't gotten any emails. I haven't gotten any letters in the mail. I haven't gotten any phone calls, any text messages, any DMs about Bricks and Minifigs reaching out and trying to silence me or anything like that. So that's been a good thing. So one of the reasons why I keep talking is because I got to make sure I keep talking until I get silenced. Have they come for you since? Okay, are you going to create an e-store? No. I will not. I thought about it when I did have the store, but it's like creating another business, and your competition. You can't connect with people through the internet. And you have to really find a way to get super solid deals and be able to compete with the world. Because let's say you get a set for $100 and you could sell it for 200. But now Amazon Prime has listed that same set for 105, and now you're only going to profit $5 because $1 trillion companies. This is how it works, especially with Lego. It's happened a lot. Like if a Walmart will have the same set, and depending on the Walmart will have a different price because maybe they don't like that set at that particular location, so they'll just mark it down as much as they can so that it gets off their shelf so they can fill it with something else. And the internet does the same thing. So that does happen, and it sucks. So you're gonna be out because someone's gonna say like, well, this Walmart had this for like $5 and you have it for 25. You're like, oh shoot, I should go buy it for $5 and wait till it retires and sell it for like 40. A lot of people do that. I've had customers that made a killing, like $35,000 a month reselling Lego, and that was their life's work pretty much. What are all the different meats made at the Brazilian place my family love and I can't name it? All LOL, super random. You said the best Brazilian steakhouse, the most authentic one in the US, was actually the very first one that opened up in Denver, Colorado, Rodizio Grill. It's called Rodizio Grill. There's I think at least 30 throughout the US. There's like 6 or 7 of them here in Florida. I work at the Wesley Chapel location. It is a phenomenal restaurant. But you have the picanha that everybody knows, the top sirloin. Then you have maminha, beef tri-tip. You have the fraldinha, which is the beef tender. You have the alcatra is the whole sirloin. And then you got Parmesan beef, and then you got blue cheese beef, and then you got garlic beef. And then the other menu items is sweet and spicy chicken. Then most locations will have chicken wrapped in bacon. This one doesn't. And you'll have galeto, the Parmesan garlic chicken. You'll have your glazed ham, your glazed pineapple. You'll have chicken hearts. This one you got pork belly and you got lamb. And then you got salmon, you got honey cheese, and then you got beef ribs. And all that for like $55 a pop. And trust me, like, you'll get hella full. It is really nice cuts. So if you guys are ever in Wesley Chapel, Florida, I work at the Brazilian Steakhouse, mainly on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Definitely Fridays and Saturdays. After, I can guarantee I'll be there around 6 o'clock time. Go and make a reservation, and I will serve you. I'm the meat server. I've also been the grill master before, not at this location, at others. And I will go and take the meat to your table, cut it for you. Maybe I'll cut it for you in the shape of a Lego piece. And then you can eat some food while I'm serving you. So, if you're ever in town. But yeah. I don't know about the steakhouse. Like, every steakhouse should have picanha, top sirloin, and alcatra. Those are like the two big ones for that Americans understand that are Brazilian. That Brazilians really do well cooking. And chicken hearts. It should be a standard. Big truck, tiny man. Big truck, tiny tools. What the hell do you mean? Okay, now my question will sound off when I'm really curious. Bonjour. Was wrong for rain, but knew Cyril will. Are you French? I speak a little French, le petit peu. I speak Haitian. My Haitian sucks. So if anybody's Haitian out there, sac passé. And if you say maboulé, I say ta con caoutchouc. Is nice because isn't Disney stealing? What? Shrek is nice because it isn't Disney stealing. Okay. Funny, they used the same landlord, no rent, and paid allegations as if maybe they changed. Dude, I'm a little confused on your comments. And bricks 10 ounces with minifig sauce. I'm a little confused, brother. Buck, if you're not been gag ordered, you're free to talk all you want. If they reach out again, record everything and make copies. Keep the copies somewhere safe. Sorry, what was your announcement? My announcement is that tomorrow around 7 p.m. I'm going to have an employee interview that was part of Bricks and Minifigs for 7 years. He was there when there was like only 10 locations around there, and he was there with me when it all went to crap. And he also worked at the store when it was a corporate owned location and dealt with Matt and Ammon directly. And he'll be answering your questions and my questions. And if you see my post, go post your questions over there, because I will be reading them tomorrow live at 7 p.m. Eastern. So, yeah. All right. Did that answer what is the announcement? Did it? I hope it did. It's going to be a great interview. If you've not been... So, one of the reasons I haven't been gag ordered is I think it's because I haven't... My story has similarities, but it's not intertwined with Ben and the Oregon location. And Brian Mansell. It just has similarities, and it has the same people involved. So I don't think they can actually silence me from talking about what I want to talk about. You know, I could be wrong, but I'll let you guys know. Oui, pas mal. Okay. Thank you. My French does suck though. The big truck, tiny man, and tiny tools was in reference if you talking about Shrek and compensating for something. Yeah. Thoughts on them waiving the 6% royalty fee for customers for 2 months? What do you mean for what's it called? Store owners? ACOB host mentioned this on their live after the coffee vid dropped. Now it's gaining a bit of traction as franchisees are what? Are making posts about it for their stories. That is like the least they could do. They should waive it off until this trial is over. Like, there's no franchise fees or what's it called? Advertising fee until all this is over. Here we go, LLC. Making posts about it for their story. 7 p.m. is 1 a.m. here. Tudo bien. Okay. The landlord thing seems repetitive. I'm not... Hey, Mr. Superman guy, what's up, Iridium? I remember talking to you. I hope it's all cool. I know we have differences in opinion religiously, cult-like. But I try to be a good guy regardless if we're changed. But what questions you got for me, Iridium? Feel free to ask, whether they're about pop culture, bricks and minifigs, what are my thoughts on certain things. But it's nice to see you here, Iridium philosophy. And I do think your picture is hilarious. It's Joseph Smith getting punched, I'm pretty sure, by Batman. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I thought it was only until June 12th. What? If they ring the customer as rewards customer, that they will not get the royalty fee. Wait, so is it that like anybody who shops there, they're going to waive the royalty fee for that particular customer so that the owner doesn't have to pay it? I'm confused. That's still like, they're still trying to find a way to get money from people. So only rewards customers, if they buy, then the royalty won't have to be paid off that royalty customer. But if somebody else that doesn't want to make a royalty account, or a rewards account, then they're going to charge the 6% royalty from that purchase. That's effed up. I went to a Brazilian steakhouse in New York City. I knew it was steak and chicken. Nice to know lamb is in the bunch. We love the Brazilian steakhouses and Korean barbecue. Your holidays must be great. Dude, you have no idea how well my wife cooks, man. Julissa, like she makes some really good food. Like in Brazil, lamb isn't very, very common. Like a lot of our meals are like in English you call them collard greens. Like collard greens, like rice and beans and chicken is like pretty standard. mainly rice and beans, and then collard greens, and then like a lot of pork. Like we'll mix pork within our beans, and depending on how it's made, it would be called feijoada, and that's the best way I could explain it to you. But the like pig intestines, big feet, stuff, pig eyes, stuff like that, and then yeah, but lamb is not very common. It's like we mainly do it in steakhouses, either to be more fancy or just to appease the American population. But yeah, like filet mignon isn't a popular Brazilian meat. Like if it's part of a cow, we eat it, but like it's not something that we actually serve on the regular. So I would say if you go to any Brazilian steakhouse, if they have filet mignon, it's because it's for the customer base that they're trying to get, but it's not Brazilian. You know what I mean? Do you think Lego's actually going to take an official stance publicly? No, man. Like Lego doesn't have integrity. They won't take a stance, and again, I pointed this out. They don't need to. Lego does not need to take a stance. They are completely separated from the situation. It's kind of like if you asked every vendor to make a public statement and release themselves. Like if you're a vendor and you don't want to work with Bricks and Minifigs after the scandal, that's on you. Be like, yeah, I don't like what's going on, so I don't want to be part of this. And that's the only statement they need to make if they want to separate themselves. But the only statement Lego makes is like a direct. If you're a customer and you ask a question, they would be like, oh, it's a legal thing and we don't really have an opinion on it, and it's gonna stay that way, but we thank you for your questions, stuff like that. It would be nice if they said something that is very neutral, but like something like Legos are created for enjoyment and to build and rebuild and creativity, and we just want to remind everybody that like we love Lego as we love you, kind of thing, and then do something like that. But yeah, ready for the fake yellow sticker? I believe they also have to send an email to corporate to get the refund. Yeah, they do. It's one of the things I would tell my customers my old customers after the whole Hogabaloo happened to me. But from what I heard from my customers, that nobody got refunded their store credit. Ready for the fake yellow sticker roll they got put on other set. Evil Plan LLC. Emin mustache need a Brazilian wax, and he's got a French mustache. You should be offended. KPS Lucas. I went to Brazil Steakhouse when I was mostly going Korean barbecue. Korea and Brazilian are A1 good. Again, you got to see my wife's cooking. She knows how to mix Brazilian and Korean food. But she loves, and I love when she makes it. She loves making Korean spicy chicken. And it is, it's good. So good. Don't talk Korean food, please. My buddy in HS was Korean, and his mom used to make so killer food. I love kimchi. Kimchi's the best. I collect toy Sega when I can. Eggs or yaya. KPS Lucas. It's funny because Japanese are the majority Asians in South America, right? Yep, and I have Japanese in my family. Yes, they are. What are your thoughts on BJC stuff she uncovered? Are you planning on opening a store eventually that is not Lego, or what are you thinking about doing? I don't think I could say what I've been planning on doing. I want to do something with my father. One of my goals in life was to buy him a Ferrari. He loves Ferrari. Shoot, is there a lag? Damn. There's a lag. That's crazy. Oh, CPU's at 11. Why? Hold up. Is this gonna fix it? Is this gonna fix it? Why is there a lag? Maybe it's here. Let me turn off my phone. Maybe it's like everybody using the internet. My wife is probably watching a K-drama. That's probably why it's lagging a little bit. But if the audio is fine, let me know if the audio is fine, ladies. What was I talking about? Everyone good. Korean, I love kimchi. Collect toys. Oh, I want to do something with my dad because my goal in life was always to buy him a Ferrari. It's something that I really want to do. He's the one that introduced me to cars, and at his place of work, there was always a Ferrari store in the same city, and so he would take me sometimes if I went with him to work, or we went out in that city. And but I always thought, like, I know who he is. If I bought him a Ferrari and he didn't feel like he was successful enough to own one, then I don't think he would ever drive it. So we've been talking for the past year of doing something together that we both have expertise in. And I will, when I can talk about it, because we're opening an LLC and stuff, and we do plan on doing this together, I will announce it to all of you, and I hope all of you can come out and support it. It won't be brick and mortar though. I thought about opening another store, but having like toy collectibles and things like that, but it's a lot of work. You have to be really big in the community. I don't think I have the drive or I would do something that isn't, if I was going to do something that's a location in retail, I would like to try to make sure that I had the funds, that I'm not really carrying, I'm not going to be worried if 1 month we only break even, stuff like that. I want it to be successful in its own right. So, one of my goals when I did have Bricks and Minifigs is for it to be self-sustainable, and then I could have multiple businesses and use things as write-offs, but also like have this for the community, and have somebody else run it. That was one of my big goals. I wasn't planning on opening multiple Bricks and Minifigs. I just maybe 2 at the time, and then having one Lego store and doing a hangout spot and things like that. But I have ideas. I do plan on doing other things. Is there a contractual obligation to contact corporate before filing for bankruptcy? If not, I hope the franchisees in your situation or Crystals go that route. I don't think there's ever, I think it's more of like an ethical thing. Like, you should try your best to keep it alive and then avoid bankruptcy at all costs. But that's a personal thing. Like, if you file bankruptcy, there's nothing anybody can do about it. I don't think you can put that in the contract. Like, if you plan to file bankruptcy, you need to let us know, because then that means they could just go in a hostile takeover. If BAM wins or loses, they are still going to be collecting and making millions off these poor 300 plus franchisees, and still will be selling more franchises. Yeah, it's true. And who knows and they'll probably be selling more franchises to Josh and Brandon, because even though they separated ways, Josh and Brandon own the Eugene location. And here's the other bullcrap part about it. You could guarantee they would buy more Bricks and Minifigs, is because with first right of refusal, if you're going to sell a location, I think in the new contracts, and I could be wrong, you have to offer it to corporate first, and then corporate can offer it to other franchisees. Or you have to offer it to other franchisees first. It hurts to think of how great Brazil could have been if it was made up of Portuguese and Japanese only. What? You don't think it's great? There's a lot of bullcrap in Brazil, but I love the culture. That's all they are putting out is generic neutral statements. They are not taking wait. I missed my spot. Okay, they're not taking a side. Lego says because of the current litigation, I sent an email and got a reply. Okay, we'll see. Like, who knows if Bricks and Minifigs did something to ask Lego to not respond. Who knows what else Bricks and Minifigs is doing? That's the thing. We don't know what else they're doing. We don't know who else they threatened, they contacted, what kind of agreements they have, so that other companies can't speak out about. So I can't condemn Lego 100%. I could say that they don't have integrity based off my experience, but like, who else have they contacted? Who else is Bricks and Minifigs strong arming? Okay. In France, I heard for many years of terrible franchisees like Subway, they don't have a branch here, so anything happen, you got to fax or mail to New York, and when they show up from Europe to court date, they tell you. That sucks. My number one Korean is dakgalbi. I'll have to know if that's the right wording phonetically. I'm thinking of takaibi, but I could be wrong. Hopefully this seriously impedes their ability to get a new franchisees. Who in their right mind would want to hitch their ride to a brand who has self-destruction? Maybe other dishonest people. You have no idea how many of those are out there. They prove court to state, etc. Annyeonghaseyo. Bam CIA. Blessings all by Junie Shu. Sending out their blessings to you. As long as it's not the horrible yogurt new Ferrari. I've been in many fefe. Haha V6. My stepdad had a few and passed in one. Damn. Instead of dad's Ferrari, save it for your kids. Things are not going to get easier. Well, like, if I can afford a Ferrari, I'm obviously going into a trajectory there. I can afford my own stuff. It's not going to be like, if a Ferrari costs 200 grand and I get 200 grand in my bank account, I'm going to buy a Ferrari. I need to have like, 7 million to buy somebody else a Ferrari. You know what I mean? At the very least. That's Ferrari save for your kids. Yeah, if you want a V6 Ferrari, just get the Nissan GTR. Yeah, no. I'm good. Why is it lagging? I'm getting pissed. You can do good business on Whatnot. I could sell over 6,000 worth of Lego in 4 to 6 hours on that platform. Yeah, I know. I have my thoughts on Whatnot. I don't think it's like... I think some people that are influencers do good, and it's almost like ripping off a customer because it's like, oh, I got this from this YouTuber, but this is a $10 minifig that I bought for $75. I don't like bidding, that's just my thoughts on it. I don't like it's up to... I don't think it's like completely unethical, because it's up to the person to be like, I know this is only worth this much, but I want to buy it because I'm here and I'm having fun and I enjoy bidding and I really want it, or something like that. Like, it's up to them. How are resellers viewed in the community? On my side of the collecting world, they are not looked upon favorably, to put it lightly. LOA. Sentiments, they are ruining the hobby. Okay, for collectors, they're ruining the hobby. For people who are like, you got to go out and get yours because the world is an unfair place. Like, if somebody's buying what you're selling, then all the power to them. It depends on who you're talking to, what kind of mindset they have. Because when it comes to a business mindset, like, if somebody's going to buy your overpriced scalping, all the power to you. Like, I don't think you should be the person that's like fighting and like going in Walmart and like pushing kids around to grab like the entire thing. I think that's effed up. But again, it's up also to the business that they're allowing that. So if Walmart just allows people to like push each other around and then fill up their cart full of Pokemon cards or something, then you should be pissed at Walmart, because these scalpers are only doing what people are tolerating, what companies are tolerating. So if you're a person that still buys that collectible and you know that it's overpriced, and you hate on scalpers, you're part of the problem. That's my take on it. And I understand not looking favorably on it, but it's up to you. Dominican food is a big part of my culture. My oldest daughter is a big fan of the spicy BBQ. Heck yeah, the egg. What is the name of the fluffy egg? I don't know. I gotta tell my wife. Don't read my last Brazil chat. Too hot for YouTube. It's fine. It's fine. Dan lied about that. I don't think it even showed up if it's too hot for YouTube. That corporation owns many more franchises than said. Went so fast to hundreds. LOL. Dude, they have so many shell companies. It's ridiculous. Really need to get the homework on these guys. I have been watching every video since the first drop and listen for 10 plus hours a day to get it all. Yeah, man. There's so much information out there. You mean the whole allegedly mining LLC? Other LLC does. This a Q&A? Yes, it is. It is a Q&A. Feel free to ask. I've been in Testarossa at 12. Still preferred my mom's Twingo LL. Yeah, because it's a Testarossa. When I was 20, I think you get a Testarossa for 15 grand. A high mileage one. Yeah. Rock Movie Gold LLC. Also, was that video you made exposing bricks and minifigs on that podcast supposed to be Reckless Ben Part 3? The video I made exposing bricks and minifigs on that podcast supposed to be the Reckless Ben Part 3? No. Maybe they'll feature me in it. Because I told Reckless Ben anything we discuss on FaceTime, feel free to use it. I'm not shy in front of the camera. Just put it out there. Don't care. But no, Reckless Ben has a video that he's edited that he can't put out yet. But I put out my story before the whole CoffeeZilla stuff, the U-Haul stuff. Like, again, shout out to Echo Base Network. They did that for me. You have to build an audience. I used to do shows for secondhand toys, but I was transparent when I sold the platform. I would tell them not to overbid, but that was me. Yeah. Curious, to be honest. Or can you not reveal anything about that? I can. So I'm not directly correlated. I have had talks with Reckless Ben. I'm in one of his videos, but I'm not directly correlated. My story just happens to have all the same characters in it, other than Brian, Ben, and Crystal. Like, they screwed me over. That's like, yeah, they did that. So I know Josh, Brandon, Matt, and Ammon decently intimately, more so than most people in business with somebody. Yeah. Oh, I used to. I don't like. I was actually kind of pissed when I got a call from Matt McNeff, because in the phone call he's like, "I consider you a friend," and it was like a year and a half that he hasn't talked to me, and I'm like, it's crazy how you treat your friends, trying to leave them $500,000 in debt. Like, I was pissed when he said that. I just wish Japan and Korea has growing diasporas because they are shrinking. Well, they gotta start having sex. Ender, that doesn't really be involved. Only appear for sex in that video. Yeah. Rocky Go, or the one you did on that podcast, the Camel Cast. No, like, Ben has an actual video. He has, I think it's like 6 to 9 part series. He has a lot of stuff to still say. Like, it's gonna blow up. Even if it's a bad video, it's gonna blow up. Okay, man. Win for Echo Base. Lego's the first fence being before Big Evil LLCs. Yes. Ammon McNeff's face with CoffeeZilla Gadwa Boy brought up the spreadsheet, the inventory, improving the U-Haul LL. What a tool. Yeah, that was insane. Like how you've been, CoffeeZilla contacted you recently. How do you not know this? And you're trying to put a dude in jail for 20 years. Okay. Wouldn't you know? And you've been on this case for the past 2 years. Wouldn't you know every freaking detail involved in this case? How do you not know? Either way, it looks terrible. It's either you're lying or you're one of the most incompetent business owners that's ever lived, because you have direct access to this. When they took over my store, like that same week, they took over my email. I had no access to that email. They have access to all the Google Docs that are in their email that they have taken over. Like, you got to be kidding me. You can't. There's no way you didn't see that you didn't know about that. Ben has the force in him. Echo Base Network, good dudes. Chad and Echo Base Network, EBN for the people. They are awesome. How your landlord can forget so many rents. What? I just wonder how many other locations did they steal. Bam need to pay him. He should move on. Who should move on? Some friend. What a tool. Yeah. KNQ Visuals. what really is diabolical thing to do to a friend? Did you record your conversation just to be safe? It was recorded. Yeah, at least most of it was recorded, but you have to let the person know, so they notified me that it was recorded. Amin has a face like a sheet of toilet paper. When I saw his mustache, for some reason, like, you know, this, I've said this before, the scene in 21 Jump Street when they get like super high and they see the PE teacher like eyebrows move down to the mustache. Like, he has no eyebrows and it just moved down. That's what it looked like. I watched a video before, and apparently Amin and his brother stole BAM from their dad. It's a Facebook post. I don't know if you saw it. Yeah, their dad also, Dan McNeff, did put out a statement that like was also attacking and defending his sons. Again, from what I know, he's also a big dirtbag. And what I think a lot of people are not pointing out is that if, like he said, my sons illegally removed me from that position. Okay. What's scary in that statement is that if it truly was illegal the way they did it, that means they've won illegally before. They've did illegal things and won. So that's what's scary about Reckless Band going up against Bricks and Minifigs. Because if that's true, then Bricks and Minifigs will do some illegal bullcrap and win. They will do some shady stuff and win. That's why I want everybody trying to help out Reckless Band and Brian. I want Lego YouTubers to pick this up way more than they've been picking it up. Because it's going to put the pressure. It's going to put the fire to the pan. Dan McNeff and McTheft. McTheft. If notice, every time Amin talks, he looks up to the right, which is a sign he is accessing the creative side of his brain and coming up with lies. Or it's just his lawyer, which is the same thing. Why does it feel like a game of Family Feud between greedy fathers with their greedy offspring? What a legacy. The language and everything is so intentional. 21 Jump Street. Yeah. Okay, looking for this PR rep. Anytime they do interviews, the hosts will note there are others in the room. Sitcoms to Family LLC. Yep. Okay, just like the song Heat Is On. Kayla or Kaylee, they sue each other as ways to move money tax-free. That's also possible. And it could be like, they could be putting all this PR out there for an exit strategy. They could be like, regardless of what they win or lose, they can, to avoid either paying taxes or litigating a bunch of stuff or selling off the company for a really cheap price, but they still put a ton of money in their pocket. There could be so many things like this. This could be an exit strategy for Bricks and Minifigs. It could be. Who knows? Because all this stuff is so fishy. It makes no sense to put your own company and 300 franchisee owners through this PR nightmare so that you can not only spend more than $200,000 on your lawyers, but not give a dude his money, a customer that trusted you guys. It's insane. I mean, makes no sense, to be honest, if they did it illegal, because the psychology of it. Do it once and get away with it. Do it again and again. Yep. That's actually how you catch a lot of people that's thieving in retail space, because they get greedy. Also, sorry if I turned into this BAM chat. No, in the beginning, we were talking about Bricks and Minifigs. And then I talked a little bit about, Master of the Universe or actually, we didn't even talk about Star Wars. We did kind of the Ray bullcrap and stuff. So we've been jumping around, but I said, like, if you guys have any more questions before we close out, like, feel free to answer them. I plan on closing this an hour ago, but like, I'm having fun reading the chat. And if you guys have more questions, feel free to ask or put it on the post, because again, the announcement for tomorrow is I'm gonna have an employee here. He was one of my employees. He was with Bricks and Minifigs for 7 years. He worked for Bricks and Minifigs when it was a corporate location. He worked for it when there was a really bad owner, and he worked for Bricks and Minifigs when I was the owner, one of the best owners to ever exist. And he won't see any questions that I have or you have for him beforehand. So it'll be right away. Okay. Dude, I've been spreading the word, not gonna lie, to make sure no one goes there because some people don't know, and F-BAM. Yeah, my parents don't even know about what's going on. And they helped. My dad definitely helped me with financials in the store. My mom helped paint and gave me recommendations on decorating the store and stuff like that. And they were pissed. And my mom actually did meet Brandon once. The one phrase she said to him is like, "You must," because she was like scolding me before she even said hello to Brandon. And she's like, "Remember, listen to your wife. If not, I cut off the balls." That's what she said. That's like the one thing she said to Brandon. And she'll say that to just like anybody. Gay Ray. Bits Monster High. J-Bits. I mean, legally mine, so tax strategy consultant for sure. And again, sorry about the lag on the stream. Disney Star Wars sucks. In this article about Jim Mitten, just they mentioned legacies in Utah. Star Wars. E-Ray. Anyway, I have been out of the house. Anyway, I got really a good question for you as a former franchise owner of BAM. Why aren't you what? What, dude? Ender Villager asked your question. Did you have an aneurysm? As somebody check on him. He didn't even finish out the word, let alone the sentence or question. I run a store now and tell all my customers and give them the link to Ben's video. Yeah, nice. That's good work, brother. Like from G7 in EVN in France, Europe just told DJT to stop messing with Brick's police department or PD. Ben's video, yeah. Anyway, I have been out of the house. Okay, why aren't the current owner franchises speak out against BAM and try to come together? Okay, they can't. They can't. Bricks and Minifigs put out a statement because again, you are still part of the company. You own that location, but Bricks and Minifigs owns the name. So anything that could affect that name, you cannot hinder. Okay? You cannot, because then if they do, if you hinder the name as a store owner, if you hinder the brand, then they have right in the contract to have a hostile takeover or take over your store because you are now currently hurting the brand. That's in every franchise agreement for everybody. You cannot damage the brand name. Okay? So Bricks and Minifigs owners, franchisees cannot talk about this stuff. They cannot. That's why you can't film in the stores anymore, and that's coming down from corporate. Okay? Instead, they're doing exactly what corporate is doing. They're not. It's not that they want to. They have to. They have to. If they want to keep their store, if they want to have no problems with the big bad McNeffs, they got to stay silent. Okay? And yeah, like that's the crappy part of owning a franchise. If the franchise is doing nefarious stuff and you're legally bound to them, you have to take the legal route to get out of it. But in that time, you cannot affect their brand. So their whole locally owned thing is a complete no, man. It's the same thing. Look, when you buy a franchise, you buy the name. You have rights to use the name because they have a brand. It's known, but you run it as you see fit for the community. But you still have to follow the franchise's rules. That's what you got to do. This isn't it's not yours 100%. That's why you pay royalties. That's why you pay an advertising fee. You can't, like, if you don't like the logo, you can't just call it Bricks and Minifigs and change the colors or style. Like, that's what you got yourself into. And again, they never expected this kind of PR. They never expected corporate to do this. So yeah, funny how they can damage the brand, but they can't. Yeah, because at this point in their mind, if they truly believe they're the good guys, they don't believe they're damaging it. They believe the truth hasn't released yet, and everybody's on the wrong side. That's probably their belief if they are honest, but they're not. Or again, every bad guy thinks they're the good guy. And the 500cc normal franchise. I did work with VAH rental stores in Paris. Missed those days where late capitalism didn't eat wolves out now. Also, win, man, for answering this question. I hope you get more viewers because I feel like a lot of people don't understand what's going on. A lot of them don't. All depends on the contract. Inventory, shelves, electronics, work for these little franchise. Yeah, they have fine print under the fine print that leads to additional fine print in these rules and regulations. Yeah, they do. Apollo the Derg. Oh, what's up? Damn, bro, that sucks. Locally sounds so much better than being under the BAM flag. Yeah, like that's why like every Bricks and Minifigs had their own identity. They're locally owned because that owner has a vision. But it's like these are the colors you're supposed to use. You know, you can't paint the entire location lime green because you like lime green. The colors are blue, white, yellow. And so you have to have that as a theme in your store, but the layout is yours. You have to have like your whatever's in the contract, bulk tables, you have to have used sets, you have to have new sets, you have to have minifigs, you know, you have to have the like maybe certain stickers on the windows. I don't know. Like my franchise agreement, I would say, was a little more open than the newer ones now, because when I came on, again, less than 50 stores. When I was effed up the butt, it was 100 plus stores. So, and now it's that like 300. But yeah. Anyways, guys, I have to figure out this lag issue. I have to do a bunch of stuff. Maybe I'm gonna stay on YouTube and go to other people's live streams. I hope I can catch Quarter Black Garrett playing a game. He's played some good games, played some crappy games, but you'll find me in the chat over there most likely. But thanks for everybody participating. Again, if you got questions for tomorrow's stream, it will be at 7 p.m. Eastern with an employee that stayed on for 7 years, worked for corporate, 2 different owners, one sucked, one good, and he will tell it like it is. Have a good night. Oh, I have the computer that I have is a MacBook with like 6 gigs of memory left on it. And yeah, like at some point, hopefully I'll make enough money where I can get myself a PC and actually be able to do real edits, because I just like, if you see my other edits, it's a little rough. And then like, it was like 2 or 3 months ago where it was lagging a ton, or maybe I'm not paying enough for like fast internet. And it's also Wi-Fi. It's not even connected to the router because I don't have that. But yeah, a lot of not Air MacBook. It's the lowest version of the MacBook Pro. It's a nice computer, but for editing and like it doesn't have many gigs. Like it's I liked it for business and the business and just being able to do what I usually do on a computer, you know, watch YouTube, make spreadsheets and forms and whatnot. But yeah, it's not quite editing and social media friendly. Like if I have OBS open at the same time the internet, both are lagging. It's insane. It sucks. But here's to hoping if the trial goes federal that the RICO gets reversed on BAM. That would be sweet. Pro should do okay. Is it M series? I think so. Kyle C. that founder. Yeah, you guys gotta know a little bit of Portuguese. But again, guys, feel free to put your questions and the what's it called in the post, and it will be asked on tomorrow's show. But have a good night, everybody. Both the MacBook Pro and Extra Air from Design School. Sweet. Love the M1 Max. They did edit 4K and the like easily, just the need the right setup and options. I wager you need Ethernet. Yes, I do.